from the 2024, 2025.
Wait a second. I got a new one for you.
What?
It's the Pool Boy podcast based on how you're dressed. Look at how you're dressed.
Yeah.
Look at how you're dressed for this, Russ. You know,
That's right.
Bundy wears a nice Flyer shirt.
Yep.
I'm in my normal attire, sweater, collared shirt, and looking good.
Yep.
You dress like a bum. What the hell's going on?
I have my sweater that I usually wear is right here.
Yeah.
I have nice jeans over here. I just stripped down, and I'll tell you what, Bundy, I'm a little bit concerned because you looked and you were like, oh, look at that, he's wearing a bathing suit. Ant looked over. He saw a little bit of the hairy white man thigh, and I think it was more than a glance. And now I'm a little bit concerned.
Yeah, it was shocking. It was shocking. It was so pale.
A little bit
It was so
concerned.
pale. The glare is what.
Bundy, should I be worried? Now, mind you, we are in the midst of our live stream. We are in the midst of trying to get a better wired internet connection.
Yeah, you might see one of the IT guys up in front of us here. They're trying to get us all. We're working off the Wi-Fi right now, so.
Are we good?
We're good to go. We're good to go.
Plug it in.
Plug it in. This ought to work. Let's see. Here we go.
Anyway, we are in the midst of, it wouldn't be Snow the Goalie if we didn't have hilarity, last-minute changes, last-minute whatevers. Boys, are you excited for today?
We're excited, and we're being joined by assistant coach Brad Shaw already. So, Russ, why don't you head down and go get into your dunk tank?
Yep, I'll be back.
And then Bundy and I are going to talk with assistant
can we
coach.
set an over-under? How many times do I end up in the water in the dunk tank?
12.
12?
I'll go more. I'll go 20.
12. I say 12.
You? He says way under.
Yeah, no, 12.
I think it's going to be like 6 times.
Yeah.
6 times. I'm not letting little kids knock me in the tank.
There might be somebody else knocking you in the tank. See you later, Russ. Bye. All right. Thanks for joining us, Brad Shaw.
Hey, Brad.
Good to have you. Good to have you back.
Thanks, guys.
You joined us last year as well, and
he's a regular guest with us.
You've become a regular now at this thing.
Yeah, I enjoy these podcasts. It's fun. It's a fun part of this.
Yeah, and well, this day is a fun day.
It is great.
And we say it every year, but it just gets better and better to see all these fans come out and just be able to rub elbows with you guys, players and coaches alike for a few hours. It's just like a very special thing with this organization.
Yeah, it's the legacy of it is pretty incredible. I've only been here 3 years, but I know they've been going 40+ years and raising an incredible amount of money. And I think what's more important is the fans, like you said, get that face-to-face time with their idols and their favorite players, and it's a great environment to do that. It's too bad it doesn't happen more often around the league.
Yeah, it's kind of cool experience that they have here in Philly, and it's kind of cool, I think, for fans today, because this is a fun team that you guys have this year. You come off a great win against Edmonton yesterday.
Is that kind of sneaky, maybe, Brad? I was getting in the shower this morning. I'm thinking to myself, that might have been one of their best wins yesterday of the year.
I thought it was. We were definitely opportunistic. We didn't dominate them. It didn't feel like we overpowered them to a 6-3 score. But I thought we, at the right time, made some great defensive plays to create loose pucks, and then we made them pay. And that's one of the ways you can beat a team like that. They just have so much firepower. I thought we did a good job of keeping them off balance. I think it's a tough game. You saw some crazy scores around the league last night. 8-3 in Pittsburgh
8-2.
And so a couple big ones, and I thought we did a great job of taking advantage of the mistakes they made.
Do you think that's just obviously you guys have been off for a couple of weeks, but is that just a lack of structure, you think, around the league? First game back after not playing together for a while. Because one of the things I thought you guys were at risk of, and you actually proved me wrong with the game yesterday, was I thought that there would be a little bit of a chance. We got 5 guys coming into the lineup that weren't there the last time you played. You haven't played together for 2 weeks. You might have a little bit of that, just a little off on the structure thing. And you guys were pretty solid in that regard.
Yeah, I thought the first 6-7 minutes were good.
Yeah.
And then we sort of fell back and started watching a little bit, stopped checking.
Yeah.
Thought our sticks weren't nearly as good as the first stretch. And, they're that type of team. Once they get humming and zipping the puck around, there's such a high level skill on that team in certain areas that you can sort of lose yourself a little bit. I thought we did a great job of sort of catching it, and especially in the second period, which hasn't been our friend this year. I think we were the lowest goal differential before that game, and for us to have that type of second period I think it's a great sign. Hopefully it's a harbinger of things to come. I think with the 5 guys coming back, I think you have to remember that they're all NHL players.
Yeah.
And I think putting 5 NHL guys back in a lineup, there will be some miscues and some timing issues, but they're also, having Tippet back and just watching him put the backhand in the top shelf. I mean,
What a pretty shot that was.
there's not many guys in the league that can do that. And so to get him back in the lineup is obviously a big boost to the offense.
It's funny you mentioned 2 things that we talked about yesterday on the show. First one, let's talk about that backhand. We were impressed by Drysdale's backhand.
Unbelievable backhand.
It was unbelievable. And then Owen Tippet topped it.
Yeah.
Like it was always like we're like, what the heck? How does that happen? How do you have a better backhand shot than Leon Draisaitl did? That goal was pretty incredible by Tippet. And the second period, we talked about it too. Like that's something that's been, your Achilles heel in a lot of ways all year. And you guys really seemed to tighten it up there in the second period. And I was most impressed after they tied it at 3, that you guys just didn't miss a trick and you went right out and kept going, because that could have been a deflating moment, I think, at that point.
Yeah, there was some momentum swings in that game, and I thought we did a really good job of just keep playing. And again, I think when we have a lot of balance throughout the lineup. I know it was Couturier's line that did a lot of the damage offensively, but there was a lot of good shifts by other groups as well. And I think that when you can come back after a goal against and just spend the next 30 or the next 35 seconds in the attacking zone, I think you can start chipping away at that momentum and start building it in your own way. So I thought we did a pretty good job of managing the game overall.
Brad, I know one of the things that we wanted to chat with you about is, and I think it's been really kind of an underreported and under-talked about thing with this team this year, but the real strength of this team has been its defense in a lot of ways this year. A lot of guys have really played well for you. Started beginning of the year, we talked a lot about Travis Sanheim. Obviously gets named to the Canadian Four Nations team, plays well in that tournament. But a guy like even Rasmus Ristolainen's had maybe his best season as an NHL player. I mean, Bundy and I have been talking about this for a while.
Yeah.
Like, what clicked for him? What do you think? And we started to see it a little bit last year before he got hurt. But what really clicked for him to kind of take it to that next level?
I think a big factor in that is he had a full training camp. He was healthy coming into camp and wasn't dealing with an injury or coming off a substantial surgery where there were limitations on what he could do. He was on the ice every day, and I think that I wasn't a big fan of training camp as a player myself. I actually hated it, but it's a necessary evil. And at the end of that camp, you're way more prepped to hit the ground running when the games start coming at you for real. And I think for him, talking to people here, it's really been his first chance to do a full training camp, get a couple of exhibition games in, get in a flow. And I think you take a look at guys that miss camps, for sitting out for contract negotiations. We had 2 guys in Vancouver 4 years ago when I was there, in Pettersson and Hughes. And their games really didn't get into gear until the first week of December. They signed right at the end of training camp, so they missed the whole 3-week spectacle. And, they came out expecting to hit the ground running, and they couldn't find their game. And it really took them that 5 or 6 weeks. And I don't know if there's many guys that can miss that important part of the schedule and really start at the level that they want to start at.
Look at the Boston Bruins, right, with Jeremy Swayman this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, kind of throws everything off kilter through camp and then takes him. Now he's got to begin his camp on the first day of the regular season.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So no, well put, Brad, and that's a huge factor. A lot of people don't think about how you can disrupt your team accidentally through things that aren't mitigated necessarily on the ice. They're off ice things, and they creep into your locker room, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other thing with Risto is that he seems to be having more fun with it.
Yes.
He seems to be enjoying it. And we talk about that on the bench. Like, in the midst of the grind, hey, find the joy out there. Like, it's an incredibly fun game to play, and especially at the highest level. You get tested every shift. I'm been really blessed to be able to stay around the game. And when you're behind the players on the bench, it's probably, I guess, the closest thing to staying in the highs and lows of playing. But I just think he's having more fun with it. Obviously, it's gone well for him. and you have the puck more a little bit when things are going well, and everybody gets energized by that. But he's been a fun guy to coach. He's a very dry sense of humor and pretty quick to have the smart aleck comment back there on the bench. So he keeps the bench loose a little bit like David Savard did for us in Columbus. I thought he did a great job of, in the most tense moments would leave the tension a little bit with a little bit of a funny quip, and then you kind of settle down, take a breath, and get back at it again.
You guys have a bunch of young defensemen, a couple of them that are, more veteran types in your lineup because they've been around for a couple of years, obviously, in guys like York and Drysdale, but you even had some guys who came up from the A. Andre has, had a couple stints up here now. What have you liked about the young guys? What are you excited about with the young defensemen as time moves forward here with this organization?
Well, I think they all offer a little bit different aspect. With Emile Andre, it seems every time he comes up, he's a little bit more refined, a little bit sharper in his execution, and tends to have a little bit higher level of success. It's a tough thing to do, to come up and down that many times within one season, and I give him a lot of credit because it's I did it myself. I was kind of that player between the American League and the NHL one year with the Hartford Whalers. And at a certain point, it's like, uncle, and where do I fit? Am I an NHL guy or am I not? And I think it's a real tough mental exercise that he's going through. I think he's showing everybody that he can play in the NHL. I still think he's got to protect himself. He's still a little bit prone for the big hit, and at his size, there's a lot of guys that feel like they can get that lick in on him. So, he's proven that he can play. We're in that process now where we're kind of looking at all our players. You mentioned York. He's not a big guy himself. How big do you want your defense core to be when you feel like you really want to be knocking on that contender door, where you're a legitimate team that can win a playoff series and be there when there's only 4 or 8 teams left. And
right.
I think that's something we have to do, and it's part of the process we're in right now as an organization, is looking at these young guys. Even for a guy like York, he's played a ton of games for us. Everybody's getting evaluated, and where would you put these guys in on say when you piece together that real good defense core a year or 2 or 3 down the road?
What have you seen with Jamie? I mean, he's had kind of an up and down. I think he's been better lately, just watching it from up top. But I mean, you're working with him every day. Are you seeing the progression now, maybe in the last month or so, month and a half, than maybe earlier in the season when he was struggling a little bit more?
Yeah, I think that his defensive game has obviously gotten better. He's way more comfortable dealing with speed or skill or size. It doesn't really matter. I think he recognizes how his feet can help him find solutions no matter what the defensive situation is. And I think that's a real feather in his cap, a real sort of step forward. I think, if you weigh it out, has it taken away some of his offense? Has he had some of the focus not on the offense? And if that's the case, then, we've got to make sure we're not, that's not the message that he's getting. And we had a good talk the other day. I said, how would you feel right now if you had a point a game? I asked him, how many points do you have? And he was like, I don't even like saying how many points I have. And it's not that's for an offensive guy, that's kind of, where you have your pride, and, he's had points wherever he's been at every other level. And I think that he has to play with a little more swagger, has to learn how to inject himself or impose himself more often offensively. And I thought there was a couple glimpses of that last game. The one second period, he walked the line and threw about a 4-foot saucer pass. I think it was back to Mishkov. It probably could have been 6 or 8 inches off the ice, but he's got to tend to maybe overcook it once in a while. But I really think, at the end of the day, that's how he's going to help a team in a playoff series, is offensively. He's got a skill set that not many guys have. And I challenged him, and how how offensively sharp can you play through these last 24 games now? And so I'm just, we're concerned that it hasn't been an overemphasis on the defense, but
Right.
it's allowed him to get more minutes. It's allowed him. Obviously, I have a way higher comfort level playing him against almost anybody on the other team. I rolled through the 6 defensemen last night. When they have Drysdale and McDavid's split, it's impossible to try and catch up and get guys off the ice. So we let our 3 pairs play against no matter who was on the ice, and I thought they did a great job, especially through the first period. It allowed us to sort of, get 8 or 9 or 10 shifts for each pair. Everybody's into the game, and if we have to shorten it up here or there or focus on something down the stretch, it gives you that flexibility, and that was a real benefit for us last night.
Brad, you guys just had 2 weeks off, and talking to some guys, I'm sure some guys love it. I saw Tyson Forster one day. He said it was great. I got to go away and still get home to see my family, which tells you that's an awful long break in season. But listening to Torts, maybe a couple weeks before the break, he was talking about how some guys it was going to really be important to some. And Mishkov was mentioned at probably top of that list. He looked like he came out with his pants on fire yesterday, and the break certainly looks like it did work for a guy like that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty daunting when you get to game 57 or 58 and you've never played that many regular season games, and you look up and we have how many games left?
25 left.
Yeah, and so I think for him especially, that first year when you've got to get through that grind of the regular season, I think the break came at a great time for him, and like you said, a lot of other guys as well. And I think the coaches, my son plays in France. I got a chance to get over there for a week,
right,
and still be back and feel like you're rested. Get on the ice with the guys for 2-3 days, and get right back at it. So I think for the guys that were in the tournament, obviously they missed that whole break, and I think that might play a bit of a factor down the stretch here for a lot of these teams that are in the playoff race. But we're hoping to sort of creep our way back into it, and I thought yesterday was a great step forward.
Absolutely.
Well, Brad, I know you got to head off to your next stop.
No dunk tank for you.
Wherever it is. No, that's why we send our guy.
We
send our guy to go to the dunk tank.
Better him than anyone else.
Yeah, but thank you very much for coming on the show. This Carnival's a great event, and we love having you on every year.
Yeah,
Thanks much.
Great job with what's going on with the team. We've seen marked improvements. I mean, everywhere, all over the ice with the D, and that's at your helm. So terrific and continued success down the stretch, Brad. Thank you.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
It, guys.
Have a great day today.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, Flyers assistant coach Brad Shaw joined us here on Snow the Goalie. Bundy, I mean, it's interesting to kind of hear him talk about the thing with Drysdale, with saying about how many how would you feel if you were a point per game player right now? And no, it's not that one. It's over to your left. No, those are mic cords. I'm sorry, we're doing tech stuff here. It's the ones.
I'm just trying to hear you because you're coming in and out.
It's those. Yeah. One of them is you. Whichever one is you, I'm not sure.
It's a little better.
JJ, you're here. You can join us here.
Well, we're rolling people up.
Rolling them in. Rolling them in.
Yeah, I'm schedule. I'm running all over the building.
Yeah, I love it. Love it.
All right.
Joined now by the voice of the Flyers, Jim Jackson.
How are you guys?
Good to see you, pal.
You could probably actually jump in our conversation we were just having with Brad Shaw. He was very, very open, just talking about Drysdale. And Anthony, we're just going to get to the discussion about, Brad asked him, how many points do you have? And Jamie goes, I don't even want to tell you how many points I have, right? But he's saying, but understanding that that's his game, his offensive game.
Right.
And if he's on a playoff team, or this is a playoff team down the road, they need that offense from him.
They do.
But at the other side of it, we're saying to ourselves, how does that fit with a John Tortorella team? Because he gets so much emphasis on structural defense where everybody becomes a major cog in that wheel.
For sure.
So it's an interesting kind of look at it, right?
It is, and whenever Brad Shaw talks, it's quite interesting.
As soon as he's done, he'll sign it as soon as he's done. No worries.
Yeah, once I'm done, I do. I can't talk and sign at the same time. I'm just not talented.
We'll get you. We're on a show.
I will get you right after. But yeah, it's Brad Shaw is he's so basically insight. Everything is an insight, right? And he's obviously a guy who studies everything. I think with Jamie, it's the production can come on the power play if they can ever get that going. We know that's been a major problem. I do think they've needed that net front bumper position, and Kuzmenko's going to give that as long as he's here. We don't know, but
right.
And that helps the production there. But for Jamie, I mean, Torts has told him, go. Be like a Werenski. Go. Be a rover. But the thing with that is you can do that, and Torts can say that, but then when you're out there roving and you get a goal scored against you, you're going to hear about it a little bit too. So you have to do it with sensibility and know when to pick your spots. I just think Jamie's trying to figure out when to do that, when he can do that without fearing not getting back and playing well defensively. I do believe maybe, Bundy, and you can relate to this better than I can because you're a defenseman a long time. I think maybe he's, for a while there, he was worried too much about the defense, so he wasn't taking any chances offensively. I mean, we know the skating's there, right? So.
Yeah. It was just an interesting, the way Brad had presented it to us, and then you're talking about the other side with the defense. We were talking mostly about how he's been better, and it's just one guy. We just left the conversation before you jumped on with us, so found it interesting.
He's definitely showing signs of improvement.
No doubt.
Yeah, I think in the last 6 weeks, really, it's been the best part of Drysdale's season.
Yes.
Prior to that, it was a little all over the place.
Yeah, well, there wasn't much there. He's never going to be a Jacob Slavin. He's not going to be this guy that stays back and breaks up plays. But if he's contributing at the other end offensively, you're willing to give up a little bit of that. So I think that's where they're at with him. And the other thing with Jamie, and I think this point was brought up the other day in one of the press conferences, but I mean, if you have Drysdale's a prospect, obviously Cam York is here, not a big guy. Emil Andre's another guy who I think is a real prospect, but he's not a big guy either. How many of those smaller defensemen can you have? So at some point it becomes competition among those guys.
Brad said that too.
Yeah.
Said the same thing. It's almost like almost like you were listening in.
Oh,
right?
well, I was not. I was trying to find you guys, actually.
Yeah, because, and again, like, do you have too many small defensemen? Do you need more size at one? And, you're looking not for the regular season, but your vision for the playoffs and what that looks like, whether it's 2-3 years from now.
Yeah, you're going to have one or two, right? But I don't know about three smallish defensemen because then you're going to have to play one all the time.
Exactly. Well, JJ, this is a big event. I mean, obviously, this is what, like your 30th?
I think so. I mean, we missed one during COVID. We missed one during the lockout. So I think I'm at 30.
30.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
It is, and it's amazing because I was at the Spectrum for the Carnivals, my first couple, and it's such a huge event, and every year. Bundy can relate to this. There have been times when we've had the Carnival when the Flyers have been in the middle of an 8-game losing streak. There have been times when it's an 8-game winning streak. It's definitely a happier Carnival when they're winning. But even when they are losing, to see the spirit that people have, and it's a good reminder, I think, of the fact that there are so many loyal Flyer fans. This is a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 4 straight years, probably. I mean, they still have a shot this year, but it would be a 5th straight year. You would think that spirit would wane. And obviously, by numbers, the bandwagon jumping fans aren't there until you get into the playoffs.
Right.
But the loyal fans that are here, obviously, the spirit and dedication, loyalty they have is really tremendous.
I always felt that when you lost a game before the Carnival, it felt like the first 20 minutes of the Carnival the next day just felt like the hangover.
Yes.
And then after that, everything went back to normal.
The fans bring you up.
They do. They lift you up, and then you lift the fans up, and then it becomes the Carnival.
Exactly.
I was saying to Anthony beforehand, I was just kind of getting a shower this morning thinking about yesterday's game and the Carnival today. That might have been kind of sneaky, quietly one of their best games of the year. After the third goal. Edmonton scored a third goal to tie it, and the Flyers slammed the door on them the rest of the way.
I mean, I thought the Flyers started well, then had the second half of the first period.
Hiccup,
Edmonton really took control. I was a little worried at that point. I think Torch said after the game he was worried too. Then the second period, which has been huge for Edmonton, they're plus 33 in the second period, and not great for the Flyers. I mean, that was just a great period for the Flyers to score 4 goals. But I think I'm with you, Bundy. I think that third period might be more impressive. They allowed 2-3 shots against the team who averages more shots than anybody in the league when that team was behind and they were loading up Drysdale and McDavid. And to limit them to 2 or 3 shots in that period was very impressive. So there's a lot of different ways. The second period was impressive, but maybe the third period defensively was even more impressive.
Yeah.
And one other thing we talked about with Brad, but you had to have a great view of it from the broadcast booth. 2 weeks off really did Mishkov a good bit of good for him, right?
Yeah,
he looked really fantastic last night.
Yeah,
although he looked fantastic against Washington 2 games.
Well, that was Ovechkin. That might be a little bit of
might have been McDavid
motivation
this time. Crosby. He's just got to pick out a player of the other team that he needs to impress. But he was great. It's interesting. I mean, Coots was great too, and you start to think when they have rest, these players are playing better. But of course, the grind of the NHL season, especially with the compressed schedule this year, You're not going to have that much the rest of the way. Although the Flyers, a little bit easier than the other teams because they've played so many games already. Like, they don't play again until Tuesday. Those guys should be well rested for that one. Then it's a break Thursday, Saturday. It's not back-to-backs or anything. I think for Michkov, it's been as much mentally as physically. I think it's both. But he gets worn down a little bit because this is the first time he's gone through the grind of an NHL season. So when he has a break and comes back, he looks like he did early in the season again, but he's got to figure out a way to maintain that because he's such a dynamic player when he's up on his skates. He's not the best skater in the world, so when he is dragging, it's really noticeable.
Oh, yeah.
But when he's not dragging, he's able to keep up better. And I mean, his hands and his vision I think might be the thing that
great vision.
It's just, I mean, I don't even know how he saw Couturier in the one goal.
Those two passes were great.
Yeah, and I mean, he's just so if you can keep him in that mode, he's going to be a tremendous player. But it's learning, going through this grind. Every rookie goes through it, especially guys who are coming over trying to learn a new language, all that. You got all those things added to it. So the future's really bright for him. And I'll be really curious to see if that line can stick together because that would be humongous for the team for a lot of reasons. One is it gets Couturier back into the mix, which makes their center position at least a little bit more palatable. I mean, once they traded Frost, they were really thin there. But if Coots now becomes again, a top 6 center, and that line certainly would be considered part of the top 6. Then you can scale everything down a little bit, and then the centers work out all right. So we'll see. They've played together before and hadn't looked that good, but boy, they looked good yesterday.
JJ, we were impressed yesterday when Leon Drysdale scored his goal. What that backhand looked like.
We didn't think that backhand would get topped.
We didn't think it could be topped a period later.
Yeah, how about that?
And Tippett's backhander.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It really was.
That was like a forehand snapshot.
I mean, Tip is incredible what he can do at speed, right? And I mean, McDavid on the other side is the best in the world at that, but playing the game at his speed with the puck. But Tip can do that. Tip is probably, I mean, last year he had the highest speed burst with the puck in the league.
Yeah.
Remember that? You remember that play?
I do.
There was like 5 seconds to go in the period.
Yep.
He had the puck in his own zone, and he just took off.
Yeah.
Didn't score, but had the highest burst in the league. He'll be up there again. I mean, he just blew right by Kulak like he was standing still yesterday. And then I think he got a little bit of a break because the puck rolled right before he went to backhand it. But, I mean, to elevate from there at that speed is just unbelievable. So, yeah, I think he topped Drysdale. That's saying something when you top that.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Both nasty backhand.
Yeah, we were so, like, when we saw that Drysdale goal, said, that's one of the prettiest goals I've seen this season. And then Tippett beat it. We were like, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, JJ, thanks for stopping by. I know you got to hit like 600 different places
that
today.
lady. She's still looking at you over there.
Yeah,
she's
she's
got her eyes.
not happy with me, I don't think, right now.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, I don't know the building that well. Bundy knows. We come in, we go upstairs to the booth.
We go in one door and we walk out the same door.
Downstairs to the media room, upstairs to the press box. That's all I really know. I'm trying to figure out where I got to go next.
Yeah.
You know,
And you got to do it all day, too, right? You don't even get a break.
Yeah, we're going to do some interviews and other things, but, I'm all over the place. But we used to do the show. Bundy knows about that. And I don't know, with 2 hours where we were going all over the building, funniest moment of that was, I think you were part of the show, when Timmy Saunders, the radio voice, got the wrong cue, and he thought they were going to Lauren or somebody with the clowns that were here for the carnival.
Yeah.
In actuality, they were sending to the guy with the gloves with the Stanley Cup. So he was, all right, and let's send it to the clown. And there's the guy.
Like he deserved that.
And you know what the funny thing is? We had him on. They did the alumni game. Was it last year, 2 seasons, whatever it was? Yeah. And they brought the Stanley Cup, and it was downstairs, and it was right behind us in the locker room. Yeah. So we had him on. He is hysterical, that guy.
Yeah, he is.
His stories,
I know.
Yeah. Very funny man. And
if he only knew that Timmy had called him a clown, he would have been able to play off of it, I'm sure.
Yes, he would have.
I remember that now, yeah. That's
great
funny.
Great guy.
He's got some stories, unbelievable
some
stories.
Great stories. Some
great
great stories.
He does. He's got he keeps the gloves from every year that he hands the cup out at the finals and whatever. But, I mean, what an interesting – he's been there for, the last almost 30.
30.
Stanley Cup
30.
presentations.
Yeah. Very distinct look,
Maybe someday he'll be presenting it.
Yeah,
presenting it here
to the captain of the Flyers.
Well, that's the plan.
Yes,
that is the plan. We got to get there.
Got to get there
ways
first.
away. We got to get there.
Yeah. JJ, thanks again for stopping
Anytime,
by,
guys. Great talking with you.
We'll talk to you soon. All right, take care, my friend. Jim Jackson, voice of the Flyers. Always great talking to him.
Yeah, it's good to see JJ. And before they used to broadcast this on NBC Sports.
Yeah, I don't know why they stopped.
I don't know.
Like, how are you the partner?
But you know what? That's what's great
of the
about
organization.
Snow The Goalie.
Like, we're here. How hard is this?
We got a ton of listeners.
And not
today,
only
too.
that, I know we're pushing 2,000 people right now. I mean, look
Yeah.
at that. Like that's pretty incredible.
That is
and that's on all our platforms.
That's a tribute to you guys. So
Yeah.
really, it is.
Yeah, that's on all of our platforms. In case people are watching on YouTube saying, "Oh, I only see like 140," it's on every one of our platforms. And guys are waving behind us. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, no, it's getting busy in here now. I think we have another guest coming up in about 5 minutes, Bundy. Yeah, one of the things I wanted to I was going to ask you when Brad was on and he was talking about training camp and how much he hated training camp. How much did you hate training camp?
It was,
Or were you cool with it?
I was cool with it. It was
Yeah?
an understanding. The problem is when I did it, the training camps were like a month.
Yes, they were much longer.
They were like, we would start Labor Day, and then you didn't play a game till like October 8th.
Yeah.
And they were long. You didn't get a lot of days off. And that was really, I think, at a different time because guys were coming in to get in shape. But
Right.
That was, I was with Brindamore. There was never a training camp I didn't come in that I wasn't in shape.
So is it? I guess in a lot of ways it might have made it a little bit easier
Yes.
for it to be longer. Correct?
It's sort of, but it just drags.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so
sure.
long.
'Cause
Like,
you just
know,
want to get to the games, right?
You want to get to the games, and
Yeah.
you want to get the camp over with as quick as you can. And, and then you didn't have, like, necessarily 40 guys you were picking your roster from to go play. So I think it would be, like you have a limited amount of guys for those training camps. So you get more games in. The same regulars that get more games in, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so worried about this light that is right here.
You're afraid someone's just going to kick it? It's going to go
kick it and it's going to go flying. I'm as soon as Russ gets back, I'm going to move it because I'm like they are just climbing over it, and I'm like, oh man, I watch every person walking right past that thing, and they're heavy.
Yeah, are they?
They are very heavy, these lights, and I am so worried that somebody's going to knock it over. But anyway, but yes, we have a great event here all day today. Flyers Carnival. We have a bunch of guests lined up. I believe our next guest, if I just pull it up here,
Lou Nolan,
is Lou. Yeah, I think Lou's going to pop on here at 11:30. So yeah, it'll be great. But like the line, I mean, you can see behind us like all the people on the concourse. We're in case you're coming down here or you are down here and you're trying to figure out where we are. We are right outside section 101, 102, where the premium entrance is. We're just on the other side of the escalator. As you can see, people going up to the club level. So if you want to come by, see us, Bundy will sign anything.
Yeah, I am signing if you're here and you can hear us. I have no problem doing that at all. You can come right up, just put on what you want signed, and I'll sign it even as we're doing the podcast.
Yeah, unlike JJ, Bundy can multitask.
You're right. Well, she really wanted a piece
She
of
was
him.
like, she was like, can you sign? And he's like, yeah, in a minute. And she kept going. And then I
know.
said to her,
They had to come and remove her.
they had to move. Megan Flat had to come over here and remove her. We had this poor little old woman who just wanted JJ's autograph had to be removed from the Snow the Goalie broadcast, which is funny. But it's really, really, really funny. Do you have any? I know I probably have asked you this each of the last 2 years, but I'll ask it again just for the sake of vamping here while we wait for our next guest. Do you have any memory funny memory from your time at the Carnival when you were a player?
Not really. I mean, I remember one of the things we used to really pay attention to was when Fran Tobin used to run the Carnival, and she'd been there for doing it for years. It used to be called the Flyers Wives Fight for Lives Carnival.
Correct.
And it used to start at 11 in the morning and go till 7.
Yes.
It was like all day.
And wasn't there like a break in between, like a short break? Like there were 2 sessions, if I remember correctly.
There was. It wasn't like 2 sessions. They try to give guys breaks, like to give you like a 30-minute breather.
Yeah.
But it was an exhausting day, and I remember after we'd have like a meal and there'd be food and stuff. But I think they've shortened. It's 11 to 3, I think now.
Yeah.
And I remember the one thing at the end of the carnival, every guy wanted to know what the carnival made that day. They were able to give you
an idea
of what you were. So it brought a lot of pride, I think, to the players to do that, to be able to do it. I know the wives did a great job getting helping out and making sure the carnival was a great success, like it still is to this day. But I went in the dunk tank my first year. Probably the same one you broke your toe in.
The same one Russ is in right now.
And but we always had fun. The carnival was always fun. It's really, you could see the joy in kids' faces when they come here. Like the kids just love it.
What's the most unique thing you ever signed your autograph to?
I mean, you really want the honest answer?
Yes.
I've signed a boob. But it was like, but it was tactful. Like it wasn't like no one pulled it out. It was like just the top up here, the top of the chest. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
And any guy that tells you that they haven't done that is a liar.
Well, because you saw because during the Eagles parade, you saw Zach Baun stop and sign that baby. Did you see that?
Yes.
Signed the baby.
Yes.
So I thought about that. I was like, I wonder what Bundy's.
Yeah, it was not distasteful though. It was
Sure.
like, it was like higher up, and it wasn't like nobody pulled down their shirt or anything. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
absolutely.
you asked me, there it is. I've signed hands. I've signed a calf before.
It's just like weird, like why people ask for that kind of stuff.
Not a
right?
cow calf, an actual leg calf.
Yes. If you would have signed a cow calf, we would have needed a much longer story if that was the case.
I needed a Sharpie though to keep it permanent.
I always wonder like what goes through people's heads when they're I can understand somebody wants an autograph that they want to get like turned into a tattoo, right? And so they want the autograph on their skin, so they go and then they go right to the place and get the thing tattooed on their body. Okay, fine. If you want to do that, you're that big of a fan, I'm cool with that. I just don't understand like why you're signing a baby's head, for example, or a boob for like what are they doing? Are they not going to wash it? Like what are they?
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking or what the plan is with it, but it's I don't. Yeah, I mean you're gonna wash that. Hey Lou,
Here comes the boss.
Here comes Big Lou.
Anthony, hey, happy birthday. Did I see you happy
Yeah,
birthday?
it was recent. It was a couple weeks ago. But thanks, Lou. I appreciate that.
Well, mine is slow.
Lou, I guess we're just going to start off and ask you. We're going to ask you the easy question first. How many years have you done the carnival now, Lou? Because I know JJ. I think I'm around 30, maybe a little less than that. You've got to be
46.
46 carnival. Amazing.
And there was 2 years that they didn't have it, right?
Yeah, I guess the COVID thing shut
And
that
then
down
and then
for
the
a
lockout
while.
and the lockout, the year that they
Lockout?
the lockout, there was no season.
Well,
Right?
you've done your
94.
stats then. You
94,
know more than I know.
95.
That's for sure. You
Well, that
know
was the
more
year-
than I know anyway.
Come on, Lou. Come on, Lou. For 46 carnivals. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, they've certainly changed down through the years. And Bundy, when he was doing the carnival, it was a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we used to auction off equipment?
Yeah.
Had that mannequin.
But we were saying too, Lou. I remember I was just telling Anthony. I don't know if you remember this. They used to be some of the carnivals were 8 hours. They would go from 11 to 7.
Doing
on
early
some.
bird and then the other one.
The early bird.
Back
and
when
then-
Fran Tobin was running it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. The early bird. Absolutely right. You are. Yeah.
Yeah, you paid extra and you got in early, and maybe it made it easier for you to see people and get autographs.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but then when the throngs came in later, the lines were like, out the door. I mean, it was crazy, but all good fun.
No, it's a great time. It's a great time. How much are you loving this now, Lou, that you're in your, I guess your 49th season? 50th season? Doing with the PA?
This is 53 or 4.
Well, that's with the team, but doing PA is is it
that's
that long
how
too?
many,
Yeah, okay, all right.
Year before the first cup,
Okay.
when the Canadians beat us.
Okay.
In the semis, I guess it was.
Yeah.
Who knows what they called them then?
I guess that was the conference they weren't. It wasn't Wales conference then, right? They didn't name it
Campbell, maybe.
Well,
Who knows?
Campbell. Well, Campbell, yeah, because I think you guys were considered the Western Division for a little while. Weird.
Yeah,
just
somebody didn't
totally
know.
weird. Yeah.
Somebody said, what?
Yeah.
Western.
Yeah. I think it was Campbell Conference back then. Campbell Conference Finals.
Yeah. Well, that was the one, and then I was a PR guy before that. I
Right.
worked with Joe Cadillac, made sure the stats got to whoever wanted them or whoever needed them, and things of that nature, and everybody's taken care of in the press level. And I used to write the sheet out. We just wrote a lot of stuff out. And,
Right.
I didn't see many goals. I didn't. And when the announcer left, I told Lou Scheinfeld, I want to do that. I had already been on the phone and recapped goals, so it was easy to just slide down there.
Right.
Bigger audience for sure, but I managed it pretty good.
But what's it like for you now, all this time later? Still loving it?
Yes,
Every minute of it, right?
I am. It's certainly changed because when we went from a dot matrix scoreboard where they fed in tapes, punch tapes
Yeah.
to make things happen, to now where it is a huge show. I mean, we're talking about a huge show here, and we have people that the Arena Vision group takes care of that, producing not only the game itself but videos to go on.
Yeah.
And things of that nature. So it has changed.
Yeah, the video
momentously.
board's changed everything, hasn't it, over the years?
Oh, it has, Bundy. You're so true with that. I mean, it.
I never think of that, Lou. Until you mention it, you're like, right, the video in these buildings changed your job entirely.
Absolutely, and what it did was, I used to be able to do the game, walk across the ice at intermission, get a couple of coffees, and come back, and be in my seat by the time the guys came back on the ice. Well, I don't have that luxury now. Also, I'm not in the penalty box anymore because the league chased us out of there. I'm now at top of 112, which is a great seat. I can see everything.
I was going to ask you what the difference is like for you.
I had a monitor down on the ice when I was in the penalty box, so if I wanted to, I could see the corners. But I was so busy at that point, I didn't really watch the game as much. I watch it when something happens. Bing, right off the bat, you got to go right away.
Right.
And but now it's I'm watching the game, and the scoreboard has it. And if people stand up in front of me, I just watch the board, and I'm 2 seconds later or something of that nature. There's a delay, little delay, but generally it's changed a lot. I'm doing a lot more commercials now. You've heard that. Yeah. Trying to sell this or trying to sell that, but the revenue of this is. I mean, look at this building and look at that. What people have done with this building.
And there's a new one coming.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you guys a story.
Yeah.
You both know Paul Coffey.
Of course.
He's a friend of mine.
Played with him, yeah.
Bundy was a teammate of his.
That's right. And I saw him in the hallway the other day. He was in with Edmonton, and he says, "Lou, how are you?" We're talking. And he said, I'm solving a problem for you. I said, "What is it, Paul?" He said, "I know why your home record is not as good as it should be." I said, "Why is that?" He said, "Because the place is too nice. Our room is beautiful." He says, "I can't believe how nice this building. It's like our home rink." So the situation is like that. And what they've done here with the revenue that's generated by this club and everything involved here is push it back into the building. I mean, you look at it in the renovations, it's a marvelous place.
Yeah,
it is. It's a beautiful building.
And I understand it, and it may be the busiest building in America.
Well, it certainly is. I mean, you got two sports franchises. I think that there's only something like 40 dark nights of the entire year out of 365.
It's hard to find one, I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. To get that, you don't have very many that are that good. So it's really cool. Lou, favorite memory from fan interaction at the carnival before we let you go. I know you got to hit 5 other interviews today.
Well, that's okay. None are as important as yours.
You may say that a few more times.
I think favorite memories here are when I say last minute of play in the third period on May 19th of 1974.
Wow, yeah.
And with Bobby Orr in the box. Yeah. And when he pulled Clarkey down, and he was really upset. I mean, livid. I think Scove was the ref. Art Scove, the ref.
Art Scove,
yeah.
Wow, yeah.
And, that, and also the rushing game when the team left the ice after the ref came over and saw us, because we worked with that glass back then.
Right.
No glass. And you're talking to him, and he says, they're just milling around over there. And says, yeah, they're just delaying everything. And he says, yeah, how about give them a delay of the game? What did I just do? And they were aggravated enough, but when they heard that, they decided they were going to leave, and it just was nuts. It was crazy.
Did you get to stay? Did you stay in the penalty box the entire time during the delay, or did you get to go underneath where all the craziness was taking place?
I crossed over with a fellow by the name of Aggie Kuklowitz, who was Air Canada's liaison with the Russians. Uh-huh. He spoke Russian and Canadian. And, he could communicate with them. So I went over with him, and then Ed rolled up the hall, Ed Snyder, busted in the room, came out, and he said, give them 10 minutes. They're coming back. I said, oh, boy, that was really something. But, and then Joe Watson scored.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You remember that one.
What a great game. What a great game. Well, Lou, thanks for stopping by. We love having you on every year, and you're an icon for this organization, for this city.
Well, certainly, yeah.
And it's just a treat that we get to share this event with you every year.
Well, thanks, Anthony. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and to be on your podcast. And if I had more time during games, I'd be on. But you're up there and I'm down there.
I know.
Give you an example. I'll just tell you this, Lou. We're almost 2,500 viewers right now.
Is that right?
2478
2480 going up higher. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
It's really kind of cool that everybody checks in on all our platforms.
Well, you guys
awesome.
know the game well, and you make sense when you talk about it. So,
well, thank you.
To have me
Lou.
here is a real honor for me. Thank you.
Thank
an
you so
honor to
much,
us,
Lou.
too. Thank you, Lou.
Thanks for stopping by, my friend.
Be good.
Yeah, you as well. We'll talk to you soon. The great Lou Nolan here on Snow the Goalie. Intern Andrew, you want to pop over here for a quick second? Yeah, let's bring intern Andrew over here because he's back, but Russ isn't. So we got to have come over here. Yeah. Well, because there's another reason we're going to bring him over here because I want him to fix the damn light.
That light's. You're still worried about that thing, aren't you?
Someone's going to trip over it. I'm telling you.
What do we have next? We have already had.
We have the Toyota folks coming on next.
All right, what I missed?
Yeah. So that's what we want to know. So first thing is when we're done talking to you, can you move that light maybe a foot this way? Because I swear to God, everybody keeps walking and climbing over it.
Yeah, I will.
And I think someone's going to knock it over.
Okay.
And you know how heavy they are.
No, I got you.
Right? Okay. Secondly, how many times did Russ get dunked?
Double digits. I lost count after a little bit. Now, here's the thing. Not all of them were good, clean, earned dunks.
Yes.
There were people who would miss and then just walk over and press the button. I think is a violation. As a Russ defender, I think that's a violation.
No, but they did that to me too.
I think it's a little bit different if it's a 4 or 5-year-old, but there are 10-year-olds that whiffed 3 times.
They're
violation.
Kids. They're kids.
And then there was also a couple times the volunteers working here were also pushing it as well. So there were only really probably 3 or 4 people that actually wound up and went goose gossage and got them and dunked them.
Did our special guest show up?
He didn't. He didn't. Oh. I said to him. I said to Russ after, hey, that thing that Ant was whispering about. Can I say it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Briere was supposed to come down and dunk him.
Yes, Seville was supposed to make that happen. Didn't happen. There he is.
Yeah.
I thought you were getting a shower.
Shower?
Hello, gentlemen.
Smell like a chlorine bomb.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, Russell.
How did that go, Russ? You're a little off. The camera's a little
I'll
off.
move it.
Yeah, you'll move it and get in the light too. That'd be great.
I was dropped in the drink a few times.
A few. I heard it was double digits.
I will tell you that there are a lot of small children in this area that have very, very strong arms.
How many times did you go down?
How many times was it earned? Probably 6. How many times did I end up in the drink? Probably about 14.
So I was right on the over, right?
Did I say, was it about 14, Andrew, would you say? About 14?
Yeah.
Now, in fairness, we did get to a point. I said there'd be no charity. I said, little kids coming up with their crutches. Tiny Tim wasn't going to get to push the button. But what we found is that the tension on the thing was a little bit harder. And so there were some small humans. There were a number of small human beings who, a few times there, they hit the target twice. And so I said, all right, fine, hit the button, kid.
Yeah, well, because sometimes you hit it and then it doesn't knock you down.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it was a lot of fun. I will tell you that I gave them 32 minutes, not 30. And that the person after me, who I'm not sure who it is, and I hope she doesn't take offense if she watches the show. I'm not good with names anymore. She was waiting for warm water to get added. So her time has been ticking away. So I gave 32 minutes, and I think she's going to end up giving about 22 by the time it's all said and done.
Maybe she's the smart one.
It might be.
Yeah.
But we do this in the name of charity.
Yes.
So we've just kicked. We've had kicked around 3 guests already. We've had a good show so far.
Good.
We have the Toyota people coming next, I believe.
Yes.
Hey, good.
One other question for you, Russ.
Yes.
Was I right about the hardest part getting back onto the seat?
No. That wasn't hard at all. You know what was actually hard? I had to figure out the technique of falling in because I got hit. If there's a personal compensation lawyer out there, I got whacked in the back by the board no fewer than 7 times when I was going down. That I felt it whack me in the upper back. So then I changed my technique of how I was sitting to try to almost launch myself forward as I was
yes.
going down.
That's true. You're right about that.
It
was good.
It was. You know what?
No,
It
no
was.
toe injuries or anything?
No, my tootsies are fine. I did bend back one of my fingers at one point, but I am a man, and I will not demand a cake from the Flyers, unlike some people on this panel.
I didn't demand that cake.
Yeah, you know.
They just gave it to me.
No, but
You
it
know.
was a lot of fun, and I'll tell you what. There were some of our longtime listeners were down there. Joe Papel has a great shot.
I think Andrew's got some video that we can probably put up during our. We have a like between 12:30 and 1. We have a little bit of a gap.
Well, here I'm gonna throw this one up on the screen.
Oh, you
real
got
quick.
one already.
I think this was from Joe Papel.
Was the water warm or cold?
The water was unbelievably cold, like unbearably cold. This was the scene down there in the dunk tank.
Looks like he's in jail.
I mean, a lot of
We need the Andrew video. That's a great photo.
There was a lot of man thigh, and I was trying to put that away, but there's only so much time you have to adjust your bathing suit as you're going constantly in because 7-year-old kids who throw more accurately than Taiwan Walker keep putting you in the drink.
By the way,
There's a lot to handle.
I'm a little disappointed that my plan was foiled.
Why was your plan foiled?
I don't know.
What was your plan?
You know what it was because
Yeah,
Andrew told
yeah,
you.
I know your plan.
Yes.
But why was it foiled?
I don't know.
Maybe he knew better.
No, I got to talk to the guy who was supposed to make it happen.
Are we talking to the guy who was supposed to make it happen on the show today?
No, it's Seville.
Okay. I saw Seville down there.
Yeah, he was supposed to have Danny come over and dunk you.
Well, it's a good thing that he didn't. I'd have grabbed Danny and I'd have yanked him in there myself.
That would have been fun. That would have been a fun
good stuff.
interaction.
Yeah.
I wanted to get that on video. I'm disappointed.
Anyway, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you to Flyers Charities for thinking for some reason people would want to dunk me. I don't know why anybody would ever want to dunk me. I'm not annoying, trolly, or anything, but it was a lot of fun.
It's a good time, right?
I'll do it again next year.
Good.
I'll take it for the team.
There you go.
You know.
Good job, Russ.
You're the youngest of the three of us. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, when I did come out of the locker room, though, like I finally got dried off and a little bit warmer, putting my clothes back on, and I saw the lady and they had the hose in the water, and I was like, oh, did a lot of it spill out? And she said, no, they're putting warm water in. They're putting warm water in.
You see what Allison suggested?
No, what did Allison say? Maybe Briere will show up with a oh, Jesus. No. Please, no. Please, no. I can't have that. No more. No more. But anyway, Joe Papel wasn't the only one. There was somebody else who was sitting up behind and got the here. I'll throw this one up here too. It was crazy. Here we go. Oop, there we go. That was the behind shot.
Oh, look at that. And there's a good line for you there, Russ.
Yes, it was a very long line.
Yeah.
I don't know what these children. I don't know why these kids had an issue with me. Somebody had beef with me.
It's not the kids that have the issue with you. It's their parents.
There was one guy. Intern Andrew can confirm this. There's a guy who looks like, I don't know if Sean Couturier has a brother, but this guy was like 85% Sean Couturier. And he had 4 kids with him. And those people dunked me. I think it was those people. I think that girl with the pink jersey, I think she dunked me. With
Really?
Very strong arm. Very strong.
Joe Papel?
There's Joe Papel.
There's Joe Papel.
Did you dunk him, Joe?
Joe did not dunk me, but he got the picture. Joe, come on over to the
we put the
microphone real
picture.
quick. Come to the mic. You can just tell people real quick.
Yeah. Come on.
I mean, it was just.
Oh, that's funny.
Good morning.
How are you,
Good
Joe?
morning, Joe.
Good to see you.
Great to see you.
What's going on,
too.
Joe?
Thank you, Ant.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
How was it? How was Russ in the dunk tank?
Russ was beautiful. He was trash talking all those wonderful little kids.
Look at that photo. That's
That's from
getting-
Joe. Joe took that.
$50 a person, Russ.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
No, it's complimentary. It's included with admission.
There you go.
Which is a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. That's
Are
awesome.
you having fun, Joe?
Great time. Good to see you all. I mean, we had 2 weeks not getting to see you, Chris. You know?
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
event. It's a great event. So
You agreed. Just like the Four Nations was a great event, Ant.
there you go. There you go.
Yes.
It's
Tell me you get 'em, Joe.
it's a charity
Get 'em,
day,
Joe.
and I'm being attacked.
Yeah.
Get 'em,
I'm
Joe.
being attacked
But
today.
didn't you enjoy seeing Urs play that game for Sweden?
It was good
I
for
was
him.
so into Urs having that
It was good for
wonderful
him.
game.
All right,
All right.
we have a guest who's got to come on.
All right. Bye, Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, everybody.
Captured an iconic image. That's going to be, I'll tell you what.
Headphones here.
How you doing, Bob?
I'm doing great.
Hey, Bob.
This is Bob McCormick from Toyota. We love having you guys come on, especially because you've been such a long partner of the organization and this event. So can you just tell us kind of what it means for you and for Toyota to be involved in such a cool event that not many teams around this league do something to this level that like the Flyers do?
Well, truly, it's an honor for us to be a partner and to be a partner for as long as the event has been out. It's the longest running charity event, raising money for cancer and for all different things throughout the Philadelphia region. It's fabulous. You know, we have great partners in PAL. We have great partners with Flyers Warriors, Challenged Athletes. We have a number of them, and they really do, you know, a fabulous job. And this today is really significant for us because, one, we're the presenting sponsor. We're going to sponsor the carousel, and we're going to sponsor the Ferris wheel. It's complimentary for everybody that wants to come. And frankly, it allows us to connect with the amazing Flyers fans and what they do throughout the communities. It really is significant to us.
And that's really a really cool thing, to be a corporate partner of the organization and to identify just what this event means for the fans, right? Because it's one thing for all of us to be here and us to broadcast, the players to sign autographs and take pictures, and everybody else to go around and shake hands and do all their stuff. But this is really all about the people of this community.
Well, not only is it about the people of the community, but if you think about it, it's about families, it's about kids, it's about grandkids, and frankly, who does it better than the Flyers? A first-class organization in every detail. The other thing is that I would just say that some of the great things that we've done, and obviously it's based on our network of partnerships, is the Phil Abundance Food Drive, Lil Abundance, Lehigh Valley Harvest Food Drive, all those different things. But this is really something that we really love hitching our wagon to.
That's fantastic. I mean, it really is. It really is a cool thing. And you got both the carousel and the Ferris wheel this year.
Yeah, we do.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. And those have got to be some of the most popular things going down here.
Well, not
with the
only
little
that,
kids.
but I was thinking, somebody said, well, of any of the events, whether it's the sign and snap or whether it's the shots on goal, I said, how about the funnel cake? I can't wait to get to some of the funnel cake.
How about the podcast?
How about the podcast? Well, the podcast was first.
Do the podcast, right? Then do the funnel cake.
Where
right?
is the funnel cake?
That's right. Yeah, we got to find the funnel cake.
I need somebody to bring us funnel cake.
Yeah,
we need to find it. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I love some funnel cake.
Yep.
Love some funnel cake. Well, Bob, we really appreciate you stopping on the show, and we appreciate everything that Toyota does. With the Flyers just in general throughout the year, but especially for today.
Yeah, it's great. It's really great. And it's really an honor for us to be here and for us to be partners with the Flyers.
Toyota's the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you,
Thanks,
Bob McCormick from Toyota. Really good stuff. He'll sign it for you. He'll sign. Yeah, Bundy.
I'm waiting. I just need a pen.
Yes.
He doesn't have a marker.
We just need a marker.
I don't have a marker.
Intern Andrew has a marker.
He's getting you a marker. We're going to get you to sign
there
it right
we go.
now.
So
this is Russ. You missed it. This woman was over here earlier, right?
Jim Jackson.
With Jim Jackson when Jim Jackson was here, and Jim Jackson
did
was.
Jim Jackson have a marker on hand?
He did not, but Jim was, and he did eventually sign her sweatshirt, right? But he could not talk and sign at the same time.
Yeah.
Unlike Bundy.
She's gonna go get your marker.
Yeah, unlike Bundy, who's able to do two things at the same time. There was a guy handing him some
Hey,
stuff.
there's Joe Seville. Didn't you want to give him a hard time?
What happened?
Come sit over here, Joe.
What
Joe,
happened?
you have to atone for some sins, apparently.
What? It was taken out of your hands, huh? We got nobody to dunk him. Nobody.
Small children dunked
Small
me.
children. Well, if you would have done it, that would have been just as good. Any of you, any Flyers employee would have been great.
Just go up. We wanted you to drop kick that thing.
What
happened to the camera?
Like we wanted you to.
Did you just kick the camera? Oh my goodness, the
Look
Flyers.
at Kate.
Oh,
just knocked
Kate,
us. There you go.
Kate,
All
what
right.
are we doing?
Yes. We could do that.
Yeah, you could do it to Ant for conspiring.
Gatorade bucket.
How about just like a spray bottle? That would work.
Spray bottle. All right.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. That didn't happen.
I'm disappointed that we've been here I was here very early. Ant, you were here. Andrew was not here to set up initially as early as we were. Very sad. And not only did he not show up first to set up, but he didn't bring us funnel cake. And I didn't know there was funnel
It's
cake.
not his fault.
And I have to be honest, I thought there'd be a lot of funnel cake,
Isn't
Andrew.
there free ice cream here today?
Hey,
too?
by the way, you know,
I thought there would be treats and special sweets that Andrew would bring to us, and he's brought us nothing. He's brought us nothing, not even humor today, not even a joke.
Russ,
Do you have a stat of the night?
Russ, you know what Andrew does need to do though. See, since Kate knocked our camera,
What?
we have all the little camera icons up on the screen, including the crosshair. Oh, there they
they're
just
gone
went
now,
away.
yeah.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, they just disappeared. So, but right, so it's good to finally have you up here, Russ. Bundy and I have been pulling our weight for the last hour.
Almost an hour, yeah.
Yeah, and actually over an hour because we did start early. We just started before 11.
Yeah.
So we did this first hour and kind of feel like.
What are we gonna do? Dan and Jonesy are coming.
Yeah.
Are we gonna drop one of us?
So they'll sit in this chair and they'll just hand the mic back and forth to each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it's the loose mic, so we can have them hand it back and forth.
We could send Ant on an excursion looking for sweet treats.
You ain't sending Ant on any
Why
excursion.
can't Ant go on an excursion?
Ant's not going on an excursion.
It's good for all of us to do some moving around. I went in the dunk tank. You could be the fetcher of the desserts.
This guy over here with his daughter, who's standing there in an orange Flyer
Yeah.
shirt. We used to work together in the
Did you?
newspaper. Yeah,
What's his name?
Andrew Cushman.
If I yell to him,
Yeah. I guarantee you, that's who that is.
wait, hold on. He
used to- he
no,
used
you know
to-
what? He looked at you and he just said, "That guy. I hate that guy."
Yeah.
He looked at
Telling
his
his
daughter.
daughter, she's like, "See that guy over there? I used to work with him."
Yeah.
She goes, "Don't make eye contact.
we
You'll
used
turn
to-
into a stone."
He used to be a reporter at the Daily Times.
Yeah,
So
Andrew.
you gonna come over and say hello? Gonna come over and say hello?
Yeah, well, we were having french fries.
Yeah. All right.
There you go.
Russ in the dunk tank.
Did you dunk him?
No.
You should have dunked him.
There was a very long line.
Sorry, you have to
There
stand
was
in
a
the
long line. Although kids came around 3 times, 4 times, it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Everything's great. Yeah, we're live right now, just so you know.
You're the one who engaged him in conversation.
I just wanted to shake hands. I didn't want to have the whole
His
thing.
mic. I'm done. I'm done with him. Bundy, how are you?
I'm good, Russ. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I think.
So all in all, the tank went pretty well.
You know what? I
Enjoyed
think
that?
it did, and I think it's one of those things that you don't think about when you come down here because there are so many other things going on. And as children were getting ready to dunk me, I tried to bribe them with other things that are going on at the carnival. I looked at a little kid and I looked him in the eyes and I said, "Hey, you don't have to do this. There's cotton candy." I said, "How about turn around, look at your parents. How about cotton candy? You could do that. You don't have to dunk me. Cotton candy would be great." He said, "There's a Ferris wheel. There's a
Yeah, the Ferris wheel's
merry-go-round."
pretty good.
He said, "There are players you can get an autograph. You don't have to dunk me." Those kids wanted blood.
Yeah, they wanted a piece.
They
of
don't
you.
even know me, and they wanted blood.
Yeah.
All right. So who do we have coming up next? Who's
got
on
Dan
at 12
Dan
o'clock?
Dan and Jonesy.
Dan and Jonesy at
Yeah,
12?
we were. Emily said they might be a couple minutes late.
Okay.
Just
I
because
saw
got-
Dan jeered me. Hilferty.
Did he?
He's wearing a nice gray sweater
Yeah.
and jeans, I believe. I think I saw jeans on the man.
Yeah.
And I heard a yell, and I looked over, and it was him, and he's going, "Ah!" So he was reveling in, I guess, watching me get dunked in the tank. So I'll have some words for him. Did you give people the rundown of who else is hopping on today?
We haven't gone through the entire list.
Oh, go ahead. Give people a little preview.
So we have 12 o'clock scheduled is both Dan Hilferty, Keith Jones, 12:15. Cindy Stutman, who basically runs this thing,
Yep.
will be stopping by. Our most frequent guest. I think it's official now. She is the most frequent guest on Snow the Goalie.
That is correct.
Followed by Tim Saunders.
Oh,
Give him your former
Bundy
partner,
happens to
Bundy.
know
Two
something
of
about
my
that
old
guy.
partners in here today.
Yeah. Be really cool. Really cool to see Timmy. And then our last guest closing out the show would be the great Wayne Simmonds.
Good guest.
That's a
Yeah.
good get. Good
Yeah.
get there.
So that'll be what we have coming up for you in the next hour, hour and 15 minutes. I think we'll be on until about 1:15 today. So it'll be good. Good group of people. You missed a good interview, Russ, and we got to tell Amadeo there's some good clips.
For Brad Shaw.
Brad Shaw was great.
He was really good last year too. So what was his thing this year?
The best stuff was when he was talking about Jamie Drysdale and the one-on-one conversation he's had with him.
Ooh.
Yes, it was really, really good
really
stuff.
good stuff.
Really good stuff.
How does Shaw feel about young Drysdale? Does he think he's going to be able to kind of get
Well,
him back on the right track?
So he feels he's been coming along, and I think it's fair to say that probably in the last month or so, 6 weeks, he's played his better hockey since he was out of the lineup. But there was I don't know if it was a healthy scratch or if it was, I don't remember.
It was an injury,
It
but
was
they were in the
related
midst
to
of
the
the
injury.
3 goalies, and they were kind of trying to.
But when he came back, that first game back, you could see like a little bit of jump in his game, and then
Yeah.
since then, he's been better. But it was more of a focus on he's so focused on the defensive side of his game that he was not doing the things that he needs to do on the offensive side of the game. And if this team is going to be a contender going forward, he needs to do those things on the offensive side. And that's what Brad was talking about. It was really fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it was a great interview. Very open and honest about just his evaluation of some guys and what the team's trying to do. It was an excellent interview.
Yeah, and another thing that he said, Russ, and this is another great clip. He's like, you talk about Drysdale, you got York, and you got Andre. He says they're all small guys.
Yeah.
He says you can't necessarily have all small guys on your blue line if you're going to be a contender. Yeah. It's the assistant coach saying that, right?
Well, I think
so. It's like somebody's going to have to go at some
I feel
point.
like there was a stat going around not that long ago. There was something going around Twitter about the overall size of a defensive core of like the last 10 or 15 Stanley Cup winners.
And they're bigger.
And they're all bigger. Like, there are no teams that win with mostly or just small guys.
That's why we got this guy.
That's why he's on the show.
Right?
He brings
big defenseman.
We need a big defenseman on the team, right?
Yeah.
It is true, though. Just from the wear and tear standpoint, that's why I'm just a believer in size, especially at those positions and those durable, long playoff runs. You need to have size on the back end.
Yeah.
It's good to have it.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. I'm getting a text message. No, maybe not. That was
We have an unbelievable amount of viewers today, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of people checking in across all platforms. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. And then this show also will be in the podcast feed. So for whatever reason, if you're joining us live and you don't want to scrub back a little bit, you want to listen as you're on your way to work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, however many days you have to go into the office these days, you can listen. It'll be in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora.
Yeah, we're
Amazon Music.
pushing 3,000 people having watched
For the carnival.
For the carnival.
Not
but
bad.
people are smart, though, because these are the best interviews.
Well, you know what?
Guys coming
A lot
on.
of them
and
are,
you
yeah.
get a lot
You
of
know
stuff.
why? And I'm gonna criticize them yet again, and I did it briefly earlier, but I'll do it again now. This thing used to air on NBC Sports,
I know.
and the fact that they're not airing it, like people want to watch it.
Yes.
So where are they going to go?
They're going to come here to
And
Snow
And
the
we
Goalie.
are
Snow the
glad
Goalie.
that they are coming in here to Snow the Goalie to watch the carnival. Because we can get you a bunch of people to talk about it, and we'll talk Flyers for a couple hours. It's good. It's good stuff.
You know what? The one standout clip that I can still remember was 2018 or 20. What year did Nolan Patrick get taken? 2017.
17.
Yeah.
So I think it was like 2019. It was like after one of the concussions.
Here they come.
Nolan Patrick was up. He was up in the top level. He was in the top level of the arena, and they talked to him, and he had like 4 or 5 minutes on TV. Nolan Patrick did, and what he said was like something about like not the concussion, but it was something about it, and it was like a newsy kind of thing, and it started going around, and it made it sound like there were questions about whether or not he was going to be playing again. And I mean, and that's not why they stopped airing it, but that was like one of the very few times that media got to talk to Nolan Patrick. If you remember, he was very, very hard to get a hold of, and he was very media trained.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your guy
Just
who was
walked
supposed
by.
to dunk me just walked by.
Just walk by.
Yeah.
People may have seen him in the background as he walked behind us. Keith Jones is standing in front of us. He's coming on next, but I think they're just waiting for Hilf to get here.
Okay.
So I think that's the holdup.
It is kind of disappointing to an extent that they don't air this because, like, you have 2 channels, right? Between NBC Sports Philly and then Sports Philly Plus is still a thing, right? Like, how does this not?
This is, I mean,
How does this
I'm
not
not going to lie. We're at 3,000 viewers. That is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it's great. Online. That's great for online. It's unbelievable for online.
Yeah.
It just really
and
is.
yet, I mean, whatever. We could.
So it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, so I don't want to dive into too deep of a topic here because we know that this is momentarily we're going to give Jonesy
Oh, we
and Hilf.
can though. I think we can. I think we're going to be looking at a couple minutes here.
Yeah, it depends on where Hilf is in the building.
I will remind people who might have missed this yesterday because some people I know, especially in the podcast feed, will listen to Press Row Show postgame, and it has not hit there yet. It's going to be clipped up and dropped in the podcast feed. But we got into the Four Nations topic postgame yesterday.
I saw it on YouTube.
Because I had video guy Amadeo, clipped it, put it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put it in the podcast feed.
Good.
But we did a big thing about the Four Nations. The reaction to that, I think, has kind of gone in line with what the reaction has been to it for a couple of weeks now. Two of us up here, we're willing to admit we were wrong. One of us is an ostrich with his head buried in the sand.
No, he's not.
Ant the ostrich. Ant the ostrich.
Ant stands by his everything that he ever says. That's all.
Stands by.
Stands by it.
Stands by it.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, you can tell Jonesy's
That's a
just there.
Mich-
Jonesy's being well behaved right there, like the good teammate he was when I played. When we was waiting for Hilf, and we're going to get both guys on, and sure there'll be some good questions and a good interview. I know this was new to Hilf too a couple of years ago, the Carnival, right? Like he'd heard of it and seen it before. But I remember how like kind of amazing of a Flyer day that this really turns out to be.
Yeah.
You see this jersey over here? Is this a CSKA Moscow Mishkov jersey, or is that the Sochi Mishkov jersey? That's a good one right here, the blue one.
Right there,
you see it?
right
Oh,
there?
this one.
I see the star, so I think that's CSKA, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, I think it is too.
We have a KHL jersey here, the Mishkov jersey.
There's two. I don't know who the other one is.
My Cyrillic isn't very good.
Yeah, I don't know who the other ones is, but I'm pretty sure this is the CKA one.
It's my only regret from college is that I bailed on that class I was auditing because I was already over my credits.
Yeah.
Intensive Russian. I wanted to learn how to read Cyrillic. But they do know some Russian, Andrew. You want to learn?
Yeah.
All right.
26. I wonder if that's
Could that be Demidov?
No.
It's not long enough.
no, but it could be. Could it be Kuzmenko?
No.
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 I don't know what.
The P makes an R sound.
Yeah. What does the T make? Is it a T sound?
I don't know. I don't remember. I do not remember, Anthony.
Yeah.
So let us think about something that has an sound as like the third letter. T-E-P-T is what it starts with. Help us at
I
home.
don't know what that is.
Tertishny.
Tertishny?
Is it?
Oh, it could be.
Go ask. Ant, get up and ask. Go tap the guy on the shoulder.
You want
He
me to
looks-
ask him?
Yeah, he looks friendly. Go ask him.
Andrew ask him.
No, you're going to send the poor intern to go ask
That's
that.
what the intern's job
To
is.
figure out whose jerseys those
Say,
are.
очень приятно меня зовут
It is
intern
Tertishny.
Andrew.
Am I
Yeah.
right? Yes, it's Tertishny. It's the son.
Ah, it's the son. Okay. Jonesy figured it out.
Yeah.
Intern Andrew. Intern was going to have to walk over there. Очень приятно меня зовут intern Andrew.
Yeah. Oh, here comes Jonesy now.
Jonesy's here.
And Hilferty's, I think, right behind him.
Hilferty's, it's not jeans. He's got nice kicks and some comfy looking slacks on. All right, here we go.
Yeah, right here.
And the lineup.
Good to see you, pal.
Oh boy, oh boy. How are you? Yeah, look at him.
Yeah.
You a lefty?
He's getting himself ready. Good God.
You're a
Good.
right-handed
All right,
shooter?
so we only have one set of headphones.
Hey, Jonesy.
So whoever needs the
He needs
headphones,
him. He needs him.
Ant won't jump off, so we gotta give him.
you'll share the microphone. Just hand it back and forth to each other.
I'm just going to keep my headset off, so we'll talk loud enough so you can hear us.
Yeah.
You got an autograph request.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you got no autograph. You know, wait, this guy's got Jonesy and Hilferty here, and he's asking for Bundy's autograph.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, nobody wants my autograph.
So good to see you guys. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you coming on as always. And let's just start with this event, Dan. I mean, this is your second one. Really, I know last year you were kind of walking around, getting to know everybody, and like kind of taking it in a little bit as well. This year it's a little bit more, you're a little bit more involved with it, right? What's your impressions thus far?
Well, actually, and it's my third.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but the first one I was in a daze, and I actually was wondering what the heck am I doing
That's
here?
right.
But the second one, I avoided you guys like the plague that first one. But the second one, I began to get a feel. This year, it just is a special moment, not only in terms of the fans and occasionally stopping to have a conversation with one of them, but also as it relates to the players and having 2 years to get to know them, to understand that not only are they dedicated to their craft, but they're dedicated to the community. And it's just a fun thing for Joan and for me.
We were just talking, guys. I say it with such pride because it used to be on NBC, right, Jonesy? They used to put it on. We have almost 3,200 viewers watching the carnival. Whether it's interviews, getting the view behind us. I mean, that's an unbelievable
For online, that's a
for
huge
an
number.
online interest
Yeah.
for people to see that.
No, it's awesome, and that's telling you guys you're doing a good job too, getting the word out there, which is awesome. But at the same time, the turnout is really good, as it always is. Credit to all the volunteers that do so much work to make this a great event, and they make it flow easy. Like everyone's having a good time. It's fun, and it's for such a great cause. So there's a lot of reasons to be here, to enjoy it, but also to get the word out there that the Flyers are more than just a hockey team. There's a lot more to it.
Yes.
And I think that's something that Hilf's done a great job with too, but it's been carried on through the years, and I think we're all proud of it. All of us that played here, like you did.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
It really is. To see this many people, even waiting this morning coming in, the excitement out outside, kids playing ball hockey and football out in the parking lot. It just felt like a big Flyer party again, like a family gathering almost. And I always said, Jones, you know this too, it's always better after a great win the day before, isn't it?
Yeah, Bundy, that is so true. You sleep better, food tastes better after a win. But I just want to echo something Jonesy said. You've got Blair Listino, who's chair of the foundation. You've got Cindy Stutman, who runs Flyers Charities. And you have all these people that work in this organization or volunteer. They didn't sleep last night.
I know.
They were here to get it set up and make it special for all of our fans. And to me, that's the heart and soul of this carnival.
And that's something that's really worth pointing out, Dan, because and Jones, you can talk about it as well. This was a little bit more of a unique situation because you guys had a game yesterday, but then there was a Sixers game, and then you had
at 7:30. It's not even like it was an early tip-off.
And then you had to flip it for the carnival. So it's almost like you guys are running on pure adrenaline at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot of people are.
Yeah.
Some of us are lucky and went home and had a good meal and took a good sleep. So came back in and showed up. So for the others, they've done a great job of getting this ready, and it's awesome in here. The fans are having a great time. They have an opportunity to meet their favorite players. You have pictures that you took 15, 20 years ago with someone's little child at the time. They're coming up now as a 20-year-old kid that's still coming back to the carnival. So it's been passed on from generation to generation, and that's a tribute to the Flyers organization.
Yeah.
What was your impression, Jonesy, of that game yesterday? Bundy and I talked about this earlier. Say sneaky maybe have been one of your best games of the season.
It was a great game.
Yeah.
Our guys played well. Michkov was outstanding and got rewarded for some of his great playmaking. That's always a bonus for us right now in our evolution where we're at. We want to see our young players excel. We've had a lot of players take strides this year, and it all kind of came together yesterday, which was pretty cool, against really a team that most likely will win the Stanley Cup. So
wow,
we played well against them.
Listen to that.
Twice.
Was that a prediction?
I might be trying to jinx them because we had their first round pick. But you know me, that would never happen with me.
That's so good.
That's too good, man.
It was fun, though.
Hey, before we ask another question, Russ,
Yeah.
I just need to know, when are you back on the dunk tank?
I'm done for the day.
Done for the day.
I'll do it next year. I'll
All
do
right,
it again.
good. I'm signing up early, man. Just for the fun of it.
When I saw you down there, I thought you were going to run over. I was ready for you to stiff arm a 5-year-old and get up there and punch the thing. So I was actually maybe a little bit relieved.
Never entered my mind.
There are so
Never
many small kids with such unbelievably strong arms down there today.
But by the way, seriously, it's really a cool thing that you do that and that you guys are here doing this. This is who we are. It's part of that culture that started with Ed Snyder, and that we as a team, Jonesy, myself, Danny, all the folks in the business area, John Tortorella, that day in and day out, we continue to rebuild and continue this great tradition, this great culture of Flyers hockey, and that's our goal.
Yeah, and we've decided that Russ is going to continue to be the representative that does the dunk tank. Bundy and I are a little bit too old. I broke a toe 2 years ago in the dunk tank.
Did you? Attaboy.
Yeah. Bundy didn't like it when he was a player.
How'd you break the toe? Was it on the way back up?
You don't know the story about this?
No.
Oh, yeah. And you guys,
Valerie Camillo went up and was trying to pull a prank on Ant.
And I didn't know she was doing it.
He didn't know she did it, and his toe slid down and hit the end of the thing.
I broke my toe.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Did you act properly, though? Did you let everybody know it was broken, or did you hide it a little bit?
I hid it in the moment, but I let everybody know after the fact. And you guys got me like this really nice cake.
That means you're writing about hockey then.
Oh, so good, so good,
guys. I know you guys are getting. It's a busy time of year. The trade deadline is coming. How big a time of year is this for you, Jonesy?
It's busy. There's no doubt. But the other side of it is we have a lot of draft picks next year.
Yeah.
So. Danny's doing a lot of traveling, making sure he's watching every one of these, young prospects that may or may not fall in our range.
Right.
So trying to get a great feel for it. It's a big deal right now. Our amateur guys have a really critically important job to do for us and make sure that we get this team continuing to head in the right direction with young players that will fill a lot of really important roles for us in the future. So there's a focus on that. There's a focus on the trade deadline. If there's a very good deal out there for us to make, we'll make it. And we'll continue to try to push this thing forward, but feeling pretty good about the direction of the team right now.
That was one of the questions that I did want to ask you, though. Like, Ant and I often go back and forth because I love the concept of trades. But 3 first-round picks, 4 in the second. Is there a point where you go, you know what, maybe there is such thing as too much for this draft? Like, is there a point where you start looking and saying, you know what, 2026 actually is okay?
Yeah, no, there is something to be said for that, but there's a lot of quantity in this draft, and a lot has been written about the fact that it's not a great draft. Well, there's no, like, really Celebrini type or a Bedard type or a Michkov type in the top, though there's a lot of really good players out there. So there is depth in the draft, and that's kind of a good thing when you're holding on to 7 possible picks in the top 50. The key thing for us is going to be after day 1, the Friday night after the first round ends. Those second-round picks become extremely important because every team gets back after the draft that night. They look at what was not taken, and they want it. The guys they had rated in the first round. So those second-round picks become really valuable overnight.
Do they almost become more valuable than the late firsts do on that first day?
They do, yeah, because you got a day to go, wow, this guy we had rated 20th is still available. That's when they want to push to move up. And we did, attempted to do that last year, and it was really difficult to move up. And in fact, we got the player we wanted to move up for at pick 51 just out of good fortune. So it's a complicated scenario, but we'll be busy on the Friday night after the first round ends. That's for sure.
Well, guys, I know you got to run.
Yeah.
I know it's 12:15. You got to move on to the next interview that you guys have set up here. But we love having you guys on, as you know, all the time.
Can I say one more thing before we
you
go?
can say whatever you want, Dan.
So the joy, there's a lot of real fun things I get to do in this role. And on the business side, I love putting business teams together. But the enjoyment I get sitting with Jonesy and Danny as they work through the question that Russ just asked and figure out how to do what our goal is to do, be a perennial contender for a Stanley Cup. It's just fun to watch the two of them do their thing. And then to sit in with them, and whether they're amateur scouts or the pro scouts, to really see the honest conversation. It's really, really a pleasure for me, and I believe it's going to pay off for all of us, whether we're a fan, whether we're part of the franchise, or we're just a Philadelphian. It's going to be great for Philly.
Yeah, well, we love riding shotgun with you guys, too, and we look forward to when everything turns and to continue to see the path that you guys are taking us down. So it's been a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much, and continued success. Have a great time the rest of the car.
Yeah.
When are you going in the dunk tank?
Never. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Jones.
See you later.
Take care, boys. Dan Hilferty, Keith Jones.
Jones, I'll text you in a couple days.
Great stuff.
Thanks,
Great stuff. Yep. See you, Jonesy.
All right.
Yes. See that, Rush? You got the answer to the question you wanted.
And in fairness, it's exactly what the answer's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, if I think I would just conceptually be concerned if the answer had been, well, no, everything has to go to 25. I do think that the answer that he gave about those seconds and the importance of the seconds is a pertinent point. And we don't just see it in the NHL. It's big in the NFL, too.
Yes.
Where you see teams almost what you would consider to be overcompensate for a second-round pick because a guy falls, and you think that he had a first-round pick value. So it's interesting.
Got a lot of really good nuggets today from the Flyers management, Jonesy and Hilf, and then Brad Shaw on the coaching side of it. We've had some of our best interviews today, to be honest. And the Flyers have been so good to give us some really good nuggets. Yeah. It's been great.
And speaking
you
of
have a request behind you.
You got an autograph coming up. Yeah. Speaking of good interviews, the most frequent guest on Snow the Goalie.
Honorary panelist.
Most frequent in the history of this show.
Watch the wire.
Cindy Stutman. Oh, my God.
Hi to people.
All day. I've been freaking out about people tripping over this light.
Intern
all day.
Andrew's supposed to be throwing bows. And
Cindy was putting that last screw in that Ferris wheel there.
Here's the first question I have for you, and it kind of off of that a little bit. How are you still going right now? Because you guys were pretty much all night. This is
all-nighter, Cindy?
Well, I can say for me it wasn't an all-nighter because my team specifically only wants me here at a certain time, so I don't bother them. But the team, Julia Doherty, Christine Sibley, their whole team came during the Sixers game last night and are still going.
Yeah.
So it's a long, long day.
Have you ever had that situation before? You just knocked me out. You just knocked my headphones out. Have you ever had that situation before where you had to have a night game lead into the carnival?
Every year.
No, but really, a
Yeah,
night
yeah.
game into the carnival?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember when we had one.
Okay.
But there's always,
Something.
always seem to be, at
After
least the
the
last few
Wings
years.
or the
the Wings or the
Sixers?
Sixers. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So maybe that wasn't as impressive as I thought it was. I was trying to give you guys some extra credit. Right?
No, trust me, they deserve credit.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
a big, big job.
It is a big job. And Cindy, far be it from me to suggest this, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just going based off where we are situated and watching the cameras feed behind us. This crowd seems like busier than it was even last year.
100%.
I'm not wrong with this, right?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
There was
massive.
already more people in 45 minutes in, I think, than there were all of last year.
Even
Really?
the parking lots this morning were buzzing.
Yeah,
like there was.
Lauren Hart has been to a lot of carnivals. Lauren Hart told me this morning she never saw a line to get in like she saw
I know,
today.
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
it's
crazy.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And it speaks volumes for what this franchise is doing and how you guys have gotten back into the social conscious. Obviously, Matt Mishkov might have a little bit to do with that as well. But I got to assume that like that line probably was the thing that sold out first, right?
Yeah, his sign and snap sold very, very
Yeah.
quick. But
Yeah.
there was still games and stuff that he was at today, and I think he still has some left.
Is there something new this year? Was there something fun and new that we didn't have last year?
I think that there are a few things.
Okay.
You weren't here when I brought the free ice cream, which
I missed the free ice cream. Yes, I missed the free ice cream.
Wonderful ice cream.
I should have brought some today. But we have the ice cream giveaways. We have a whole pong area where there's ball pong and ping pong. This year we have a golf simulator upstairs. We have axe throwing. So there's all kinds of different games that guys are at, and then some new guys that haven't been here before, right?
Right.
Like Mishkov is sort of the name everybody will go to first, but his first carnival, and so there's something new for everybody. And even in the alumni area, like Wayne Simmonds is back. He hasn't been back as an alumni before. So
Right.
for
right.
fans of every age, there's something here for you.
Yeah, we're gonna have Simmer on at the end of the show. He's
Good.
coming on around 1 o'clock, which will be really cool. How do you decompress after this is over? Like, what do you, like seriously? Like I just remember, like, I worked a couple of these, and I remember being at the end, and be like, oh my god, I was exhausted, and I only came in the morning of.
Yeah.
Right. Like this is a labor of love for you that starts months in advance, and now it's here and it's happening. How do you decompress afterwards?
Well, we don't really have a ton of time this year to decompress because I don't know if you heard about our initiatives that's back called Building Hope for Kids, where
Yep.
we're working with the wives and Michael's Way to renovate a house.
Yep. I've read a
for-
story about it. I'm aware.
Excellent. Sorry. So that reveal is March 5th.
Yeah.
So construction is wrapping up, and we're in this week. Furniture is getting delivered on Tuesday, and we're back sort of making sure that house is ready for the reveal. So after that, I think we'll have a little time to decompress. But we will take a breath for at least a day after today, for sure.
That's really cool. You couldn't have asked for a nicer day, too. Like, that's a huge part of it.
A huge
you
part.
guys,
Like
right?
last year, we were here on St. Patrick's Day. The weather was gorgeous. This
Yeah.
is like just a perfect day to get out and people looking for something to do. It's a
Yeah.
great way to fill the day and do some good.
It's
Yeah.
a great day, and it's another success. I mean, this one, though, feels, I don't know, it feels like a lot more special than the last few ones we've seen. Not that they haven't been great,
Yeah.
but this one just feels like there's a lot of life, a lot of energy.
There's a lot of energy in the building.
Yeah, there
today,
is.
For sure.
It just feel, and I can feel it. Like, we're here facing out. We want the camera behind to show the crowd,
Yeah.
and we can feel it right here. So,
Awesome.
congratulations, Cindy, again on a
absolutely.
great job.
And we're getting a lot of people who are tuning in just to watch it. You can't watch it on TV anymore.
I know.
You know, we have almost
I know.
3,500 people
Wow.
watching this right now.
Watching it.
Well, I'll tell them
online
that
is
they
pretty
can
good.
also contribute to what we're raising today.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tell them how to do
If
it.
they go to FlyersCharities.com, we have the Players' Favorite Things baskets up there, and I think there's 100 things up for auction. The auction runs through Wednesday, so anybody, you don't need to be here to bid.
You know what I wanted to ask you about for an update on?
What?
Remember those little girls from last year?
They're coming.
New Hanover?
I just got a text from them 5 minutes before I
Yes.
came up. They're both coming.
I did the podcast for their dad, or mom and dad.
Oh, yeah?
I did a podcast for them about a
Yeah, Lily and Natalie.
Yes.
Yeah,
How's
yeah.
that going out there?
It's so good. They just did their first big tournament out there,
Nice.
and they didn't stop when this rink was built. And this was why it was so perfect to do for them in this situation.
Yeah.
They have a real desire to grow the game of hockey in their area. So they are, organizing pickup games, and they are organizing leagues and this tournament to raise money to, let more kids play and have equipment, and they're
That's
stars.
so cool.
They're
That's
stars.
so cool. They were rock stars.
Yeah.
Last year we were like, this is like the coolest story ever. So I'm glad that it's continuing to go even after they've got the rink built. So that's awesome. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. And
Yeah,
thank
they're
you for
special
everything
kids.
you do to support this and the
Anytime.
event and Flyers.
Anytime. We love doing it.
Yeah.
We know what you're
Appreciate
trying
it.
to do. And I mean, how can you not help make a great day like this even better? I mean, it really is. I mean, there's so much hard work that goes in. It's nothing for us to have you guys on,
Thank
tell us
you.
how to make some more money for you, or to let the fans know here's the best place to be. There's a lot of great things today. I really feel it, and I'm proud for you guys. It's an awesome.
Thank you. And look, we're going to do a lot of good with the money we raise, but we couldn't do it without Flyers fans. They make this engine go.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Cindy Stutman, thank you as always.
Thank you.
And we'll
I
see you.
appreciate
We'll
it.
see you again the next time you have something
I'm
to talk
sending
about.
guys
See you
out for
guys
my
next
free
week.
ice
Next
cream.
week.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cindy.
Thanks, Cindy.
She's the best. She's the reason this thing
best
gets
in
off
the
the ground.
biz.
She
Reason
is.
this thing
She
gets
does
off
an
the ground.
unbelievable job. And,
Yep.
I'm going to take a restroom break really quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, do what you got to do.
Hey,
I didn't do what Russ did. We just went in the dunk tank and left it for the next guy.
That's hey, better out than in. When in doubt, pee it out.
I almost said something I would have regretted. I didn't.
Well,
I'm glad I stopped myself.
I'm glad that you stopped yourself.
I'm glad I
As you
stopped
take a
myself.
drink from your pee bottle over there, your radioactive urine bottle.
You know what else was a great cut?
I got to show you something. Hold on.
Before you do, you know what else was a great cut from earlier?
What?
I asked Bundy what the craziest thing he autographed ever at a carnival was.
Tell me it was a thong.
A boob. That's what he said. He said he autographed a boob on the show.
Was it a permanent marker? Was it a?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
I thought you would get a kick out of that.
I find that highly interesting.
Yeah.
So, I'm in a spot right now where I want to be able to show something on the show, and I'm hoping it's going to work. But I got to show you the picture that intern Andrew took. Because
picture or video?
A picture.
Okay.
And I can just about guarantee you that the quality of the video that you're looking for is going to be garbaggio. And the reason that I say that
has he uploaded the video yet? I'd like to play it.
I don't know. But
After we have Timmy
just-
Saunders in
Ant,
5 minutes, and then we have some time. I want to play the video of you in a dunk tank.
Ant, I just need you to.
I'm enjoying.
I need you to see.
I wish
what this
people
is.
can. I wish people can see.
Because this is, I think this might be the most offensive thing
Okay.
that intern Andrew has ever done.
Well, Timmy's here.
Okay, then I'll wait until Bundy comes back.
Yes.
Because
you can join us, Timmy, anytime you want. Yeah, you can sit here.
intern Andrew has outdone himself today.
All right. So it's so funny that you show up and Bundy says he has to run off and go to the bathroom. It's something you're pretty used to, right?
Yeah, as a matter of fact. I don't have any way to turn you down.
Am I too loud?
Oh God. Yes.
I'll try and whisper.
Can you whisper?
I'll try and whisper.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, bud. Good to see you.
I haven't seen you since we did some Phantom games together.
I love it. I know, right? It's been a minute. It's been a minute, right? Since we've been on talking together at the same time. I just love the fact that people just walk right in front of the camera. This day is kind of. How many of these is this for you now? This guy 25?
27.
27?
Yeah.
27 carnivals.
Yep.
And it's like the coolest thing every year, I think.
Yeah, it really is.
Right.
And it's just kind of a grounding effect, right?
Yeah.
Because whether the team's going good or whether it's going bad, people turn out, right?
Yeah.
And they're still excited to see their favorite players, and they get to shake hands and rub elbows or whatever.
Yeah. And we were just talking to Cindy Stutman, and she had said that already in the first 45 minutes that the doors were open, more people walked into this building than all of last year.
Wow. That's amazing.
Is that incredible?
Yeah.
It feels like a buzz in the building.
Did you get your business taken care of, did you?
I did. Did I ever tell you? I got to tell you a great story. So we're in Buffalo one night, right?
I know exactly what you're going to tell.
We're in Buffalo one night, and we get the break, and I did an interview with Tim. Of course, me and Timmy were together for 8 years. I just loved working with him. I mean, it was the highlight of my broadcasting career was working with Tim Saunders. Anyway, we're in Buffalo, and he goes pee, and I realize the guy's like, I have 30 seconds back, Bundy. The guy at the studio, and I'm like, well, where's Timmy? So anyway, we come back, and And I'm not used to bringing, Timmy would bring us back in, send us out to break, and just had a more professional taste to it. So I have to bring us out a break, and next thing you know, I'm calling the first 20 seconds of the game because he's still in the can in Buffalo.
Where were we then?
Washington, where you gave me the 5-on-3.
Where I was sick,
Ugh.
and I was potentially going to lose my voice, and I was just to mess with him all day. I'm saying, look, you might have to take over. If I lose my voice completely, you're going to have to do it. And he's like sweating BBs all day, and we get to the end of the game, and I made it through. And he almost looked disappointed that he didn't get a chance to call. So I said, you know what? Why don't you just take it here?
It was a 5-on-3.
And I backed out and he had no choice. You even got a goal.
I got a goal.
Your goal call was fabulous.
I got a goal. Yeah,
Really?
And it's almost like Timmy could feel. We both could. I think the Flyers were up 5-2 or something at the time. It was in Washington, and I think he felt that there was another goal coming, and he just laid it out there. And I was moving around it, but I'm thinking to myself, I was sweating. And so I immediately, it's so much different doing color where you just pick up on what the play-by-play guy is saying. I leave the goals, the important stuff to him. I fill in the gaps, and I understood that. But in that moment, I mean, it was a lot of fun. But I mean, he had a beat on the game, not a lot of other people had. And so I got a goal call, and the Flyers scored again in the final.
And I know the Wally Pipp story, so never again, because he proved he could do it.
That's fantastic. That's
that was
great.
my second favorite Bundy story.
Oh, you got a better
What's
one.
the favorite one?
My favorite one was Billy Barber night. You want to tell that?
Well, I asked Billy Barber for an interview in Philly, and Billy Barber, he says, yeah, sure, no problem there, I'll be there. And
we were going to put his number back up to the rafters, because they took some time to get all the other guys that they had retired up there.
Right.
So it was a night in his honor.
So I called Billy, and then Billy doesn't show up. And I'm, remember I used to do the interviews. I have to get somebody, so I'd have the first 7 minutes of the intermission to interview whatever guest I could find. It could be a reporter, a former player, an alumni. If there was a player sitting out, maybe once in a blue moon, we'd get that. Anyway, Billy doesn't show up.
And Bundy, everybody knows, Bundy does the best Billy Barber impersonation, always has. And I kept telling him, you got to do it on the air some night. So we talked about it, and he laughed, like, yeah, it'll never happen. And on the night Billy Barber was being honored, we had asked if he could bring him up and we could have him on during the game, and we never really got an answer to it, and he never showed up.
He forgot.
Yeah. So I come out of a commercial break, and I said, Tim Saunders, Chris Therien back here at Wells Fargo Center on Billy Barber night. And Billy's joined us in the booth. Billy, this has got to be a thrill. And I just sat back. And he looked at me like, you son of a...
You can say it.
Like,
so
I'm not going to do it. And he paused for about 2 seconds, and he went into it. We did 15 minutes of him doing both voices.
Yeah, I was me. I'm like, Billy, first I have to, and what I kind of changed into it. I did before. I said, Billy, what was it like having me on your team? And he goes, you were one of the best there I ever had, Al. I tell you what there, you never made a mistake, rock solid. Like, Billy, I mean, that's giving me a lot. Al, I'm telling you, don't argue with me. You were that good. I'm like, Billy, I'm truly honored right now. I pulled off, I think it was, a 7 or 8 minute interview, and we had fun.
Here's what I got to ask this question, and this might be the dumbest question, but I got to ask it. Did you eventually tell the listening audience that he was...
No. Why would you do that?
They thought I interviewed the next day on WIP in the morning.
Yeah, he was good enough. Nobody had to know.
Anyway, that's a back behind the scenes, and like I said, the fun that we had together was epic because it was all in good fun, and sometimes but there was seriousness to our broadcast too. Like there was a lot of high content where
Not
we had
very often.
Yeah, but I thought our calls. Timmy was a great call. We had a lot of fun though too. A lot of fun.
It was,
and you could do that with
radio. I'm not saying this because you two are sitting on either side of me. It was my favorite Flyers radio broadcast tandem since Gene was on the radio.
Wow.
Like
That's
I
nice.
just loved listening to the two of you. Whenever it was in the car, whatever, I just it was very entertaining.
I remember Mark, the best. I've heard a lot of great compliments, and Mark Howe gave me the best one. He said, Bundy, some nights I would leave at the end of the second because I had to hear you and Saunders on the way home of a close game. I mean, that's the ultimate compliment, leaving to go hear the third period in the car on his ride back down to the shore. So, no, but it was good. And, there was always it was always all about the in terms of what we wanted to do in the call of the game. Timmy was amazing, and I was just happy to ride.
I always told you, if we can't have fun doing this, what the hell's wrong with us?
Yeah, I know,
right?
especially radio. Timmy, what do you think? What do you think this year? I was, yesterday we were saying kind of sneaky, quietly, maybe one of their best games of the year yesterday. After the third goal, I mean, it's like the Flyers tied the game, and that was the end of it.
Here's what impressed me the most. You're absolutely right. It was one of their best games of the year. The atmosphere in the building was one of the best since probably when Connor Gauthier was here, right? That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
What really impressed me about the effort was, and we talked about it in the pregame show before the game, playing to your identity. And you got to recognize what the identity of this team has to be right now because they're not as talented as clubs like the Edmonton Oilers, right? So if you're not responsible defensively, if you're not taking away the middle of the ice, doing all those things, blocking, it's the first time we've seen that version of the Flyers team because the newcomers, Kuzmenko and Peltier, were both in. Everybody was healthy again for the first time in a long time. So it was deeper offensively. We had some skill in the lineup. They're protecting a 2-goal lead in the third period, and they give up 3 shots in the third period to the Edmonton Oilers. That tells you that they concentrated on defense in the third period and did what they had to do to win. That impressed me more than anything.
Yeah, it was lockdown hockey.
It really was.
Unreal.
It really was. And I said to Brad Shaw, we had Brad Shaw on earlier, and I said to him, you guys surprised me a little bit because I thought coming off of the layoff, 5 guys coming into the lineup that weren't in there the last game.
Yep.
Like you could maybe have a little bit of disjointed play, and they did a little bit at the end of the first period. I thought it was a lot of Edmonton in the Flyers zone, but other than that, the Flyers really were the better team all night. And he said, you know what though, Anthony? He says, we're bringing 5 NHL players back into the lineup, and that's a big difference. And I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
And I think that you say it that way, and you say, okay, now it makes a lot more sense as to why they were so cohesive.
And everybody talks about chemistry, right? You want to see guys start to gel together. So Tippet and Michkov, I guarantee you we're going to continue to see that for a while. I thought Konechny and Kuzmenko started to show that maybe they could have something together. That Noah Cates' line's been consistently good for a long time. Yeah. Peltier and Ryan Poehling both play the game at a similar speed. I think that was pretty encouraging. What we saw yesterday, I think we're going to continue to see that for a little while now.
How much did you enjoy calling that Tippet backhander goal?
Oh.
It was one of the. I mean, we talked about this already a couple times.
Drysdale's, which was unbelievable.
Drysdale's goal was amazing.
Yep.
And we saw a topper a period later.
Well, and Tippet, I mean, he's a highlight reel waiting to happen.
Yeah, when he gets going. Yeah.
And some of his best goals. What was the turnaround goal last year? Was it against Washington, was it? Or
I remember the goal.
Some of his prettiest goals have been on the backhand, top shelf. Not many guys can do that. He's got incredible hands. What makes him exciting, though, is the speed, and that's how he scored that goal yesterday.
Yeah, really, really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Well, Timmy, I know you got to do about 15 other of these interviews.
Oh, none will be as much fun as you guys.
Well, and I said this, Lou Nolan said the same thing, and I said, I bet you're going to say the same thing 5 more times today.
He did, by the way. He did.
You're the best, Timmy.
Yeah. See you, boys.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Timmy.
Always the best.
Thanks for being here, because this is a big day in our calendar, and we're always excited to be at this thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We love being here, too. Tim Saunders, Flyers radio voice. Always a treat to have him on the air. He's one of the best. One of the best.
I told you, like I said, the highlight of my broadcasting career was when I did radio. I had more fun doing radio than I ever did on TV. TV, and I'm not slamming. See you, Timmy. Thanks, buddy. I'm not slamming TV. TV was, you had these people that were drips behind the scene, and they were always watching your every move, and God forbid you ever wanted to have fun. Yeah. Like, you just couldn't. And that wasn't necessarily to my personality. Radio, I could be me. Like we would both walk the line doing radio, but we had a good time together. We called a great game, and we had fun doing it. And that was the highlight of my broadcasting career.
You know what you guys missed? I think it was during Tim, or it was right before it. There was a guy who was standing over here who was staring at us for a while, tall guy, orange shirt.
Yeah, who walked right on the front of the camera?
Do you know why?
No, why?
So she came over and said, he thought you were Danny Briere.
Get the hell out of here.
That guy thought I was Danny Briere like 20 minutes ago. Yeah. So I don't know who that, so he was asking people if I was Danny Briere. And she's like, no, that's not Danny Briere. But then he was still convinced, which he came back around here and we shook hands. So
I just thought he was a fan of the show.
no, he thought I was Danny Briere.
Now I'm realizing the guy was probably a kook.
But if he subscribes to the show, we love him.
I peeked my head out into the bowl when I went.
It's insane out there.
Not the toilet bowl, the actual arena bowl.
Thank you for clarifying.
And it was
It's
zoo
insane.
out there. Oh my god!
You can't move on that floor. Like when I was down there, correct me if I'm wrong, we were down there for the dunk tank. It was like standing room only, and it was, you really had to shuffle. It was lines for everything. Like not ridiculous, but like lines everywhere. People constantly going up one side, down the other side. There are a lot of people in the building today. And I will say, it's a credit in a sense. And I meant to bring this up when Jonesy and Hilfer were on earlier, but you know, when we talked to them before the season, we talked about the way that they were marketing this team and that Mishkov is on the billboards, but he's not front and center. He's part of the branding. They are most of the way through Mishkov's first season. They have somehow done a good enough job here at keeping the media accessibility there at a certain level. The fans have not turned against Mishkov when he's gone through some downturn in production, right, when he looked tired.
He had a couple rough spells.
But the fans didn't, turn against him. You didn't start hearing, oh, what a bust, what a bust. They've done a good job, I think, of maintaining a certain level of expectation for him, and I think it all started with how the beginning of the year went, in that they very clearly said to people, he is not the Messiah, he is not the savior of the franchise, he's a really good player, he's young and he needs time. Philly's not known for the patience, especially with young players. Nolan Patrick, say what you will, there were a lot of high expectations, and people started to turn against that guy not that long after. What? What are you laughing at?
That comment that Tony Louis just put up.
Let's just say that guy over there I thought was
Tom Cruise.
No. All right, let's not get crazy. Right?
No, but your point is well taken, Russ. And
Thank you.
And I think that what I'm more impressed, and yes, the Flyers have done a very good job of tempering the expectations with him, because I'm impressed by the fans not expecting more. I am, because if you recall back at the beginning of the year, one of my big things was, guys, don't put too much pressure on this kid.
Yeah.
Don't put. He's going to have his. He's a rookie. He's 20 years old coming in. He's never played an 82-game season. Like, he's going to hit the wall at some point, and don't be upset at it. Know that the kid is going to still keep coming down the line, and the fans have not done that.
I really do.
And so I'm impressed by the fans, in all honesty, for not going down that path.
I really do wonder if it's the being burned by Nolan Patrick in the past. I'm serious, because that was the most highly touted guy that the team had drafted in a really long time, right? Guy that many thought could have been the number one pick in that draft. Career gets cut short because of concussions. I think that there's just a certain bit of trepidation that fans take with a lot of these players at this point. So, yeah, I mean, it is certainly a credit to them. I think it was also that it was like kind of found money getting him here early.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like you ended up having to wait until 2026 or whatever to see him, and then when he comes over, you expect him to be that impact guy because now he's 22, 23. Right. He came into the league at 19, and I think that even the most psychotic Flyers fans, of which there are many, that those people had to say, 19 years old, we're going to give him some slack.
Yeah. Yeah. Russ, you wanted to show us a photo.
Oh, boy, did I.
Because this is the time to get to the photos and videos of your travels downstairs.
So it had nothing to do with the travel downstairs. It had to do with something that happened up here.
Oh.
So while we had Jonesy and Hilfer on, you said, hey, intern, go take a picture.
I did?
You did. You sent him to take a picture.
I did.
I'm sorry, Bundy did.
I was like, I don't remember doing that.
So, how we've always questioned whether or not it was an internet connection or if intern Andrew's camera just stinks?
Yeah.
This is the picture. Okay?
Dude, what?
I'm going to speak to your friend Deirdre.
Oh, my.
Yes.
And
Dude, what is that?
And to Papa
That's
Henry.
An embarrassment.
And to
Did
Papa,
you not look at that
to
and
Papa
feel
Henry.
any shame? Did you have any pride
I
for
need
yourself?
Mama and Papa Henry to get this boy a new phone. Okay? Or somebody needs to get this kid a phone.
Look
because
at that
this,
picture. You can't use that
this
thing for
legitimately looks like it was taken on a flip phone, like a 3GP. This is our guy.
Jesus.
This is our guy, our boy. Do me a favor. Go take your phone. I want you to go put it close to the camera lens so people can see what your camera lenses look like on that phone. I don't even think there's a lens left.
Yeah.
They're just like two gaping holes inside. There you go. Slide it. Oh, hold on. Keep it there for a sec. Like, look at that. You can't really even see it. But, all right, move it. That's good. You're done. Now you're fine. Move. Just
You're
be
good.
done.
Yeah.
There's, like, no glass over the lens. So I don't even know how it can take a picture. But, yeah, that was the high-quality photo.
So did he send the video by any chance?
I don't know, but did you? Yeah, I guess send it to me, sure.
Yeah, we got to see the video. I mean,
Just to me, not to the group. Just to,
yeah. Because I mean, I think it's worth putting the.
yeah, but didn't you take like a 30-minute video? Oh, it was a bunch of videos. Okay.
Yeah, we don't need we don't need every one of them. We just need like one or two to put up there, just kind of laugh at you and getting dunked. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it was good.
That's all we need.
I will tell you though that when it came to that picture, intern Andrew's fingerprints were all over that camera.
All over it.
All
They sure were.
They sure were.
Who do we still have coming up here, Ant?
One guest left. We
Wayne
only have a half hour left in the show.
Is he at 1 o'clock?
Simmers at 1 o'clock. Yes. So we have 15 minutes to kill here.
Well, you know what? Then let's get into an argument. Let's do the right thing.
It's not a day for arguments, Russell.
Yes, it is.
It's a nice, calm day today.
It's I woke up in a good mood today.
Who's been over by us that's been getting this long line? Is it a merch stand or what? Like I've just seen so many people this entire time, and I see merch over there, but I've never seen people get that excited about. Maybe it's just Carnival merch gets people excited in the morning. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it's a line for, but it's
they are selling merch over there. Is that Hockey House?
Oh, it's Torts.
Is Torts there?
It says Hockey and Hounds with Coach Tortorella, $25.
I'm sorry. If Torts is over there, and Ant is here, we have to make it happen. Is he over there? Ant, take your headphones off.
I see him.
Is he over there? Oh.
Yeah, but he's signing, and people are It's a meet and greet.
It's a meet and greet?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah.
It's
that silly podcast.
He's taking pictures.
He's taking pictures and doing a meet and greet.
You know what? We need to get him over here.
Does a good job with that Hockey and Hounds there, and doesn't Torts have like 80 dogs?
You need to
that
talk to
silly podcast.
Talk to Megan.
We need to
and see when he's taking a break. Go ahead, Russ. Go talk to Megan.
I'm gonna
and see when he's taking a break.
I'm gonna stir it up.
Tell him I'll adopt a dog. Could you imagine if we got him on here right now?
No.
It would be hysterical. Oh, it would be absolutely hysterical. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. He's got a long line, too.
It's not going to happen. I know. Russ is trying, but it ain't going to happen. Yeah. But anyway, that's all good. It's all good. I didn't even realize he was right there.
No.
It's the closest he's been to this podcast. It's the closest he's been.
He's got... Yeah, he's taking pictures and meet and greet.
Yeah, it's not going to. Russ is trying. He's trying hard, but it's not going to happen. But it's all good. It's all good.
So that was Tertishny's jersey. So his son played over there, and that's a Mishkov jersey, the one that we're looking at now, not in front of us. But I don't know where that one's from.
That's SKA.
Oh, that's SKA.
Yeah, that's an SKA jersey. But yeah, that other one was Tertishny. How about that? And you talked to the son last year, right?
I did, yeah. Nice kid.
When he was at camp.
Nice kid, obviously. To have that happen is such a devastating thing, to lose your dad like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, he's a good kid, too, and doing well.
Uh-oh. Russ has a smile on his face. I can't imagine what this is about. Here, what do you got there, Russell? You got something for us there, Russ?
I was told that John Tortorella would rather coach the Buffalo Sabres than talk to Anthony SanFilippo. So, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
They don't know what time he's over there. But, like, there are things we could do. You could get in line, pay the $25. We'll send intern Andrew over with the potato cam.
And have me take a picture with him?
You have to take a picture with him. Shake hands. You'll have to talk. It'd be hilarious. We can get you two on camera together. Like, it's right there.
Yeah, I ain't standing in line to take a picture with Torts. Ain't happening.
We can get one of our fans to hold your spot in line. I have workarounds figured out.
Yeah. All good.
Ant is afraid.
No, he's not afraid.
No.
Ant is not afraid.
Sometimes you got to judge the orange and decide how much juice is worth the squeeze.
That's right.
I didn't realize, though, that he was going to be that close.
I didn't either.
He's happy.
He wanted to be close to us.
There's puppies.
I honestly didn't know it was that either. That's funny. That's actually kind of funny.
Oh, nice.
So
We could do. This guy was here last year. He's
Yes,
got
he
the,
was.
the
Charleston Chiefs.
Yep. You start to realize year over year, you start to recognize people that come to the charity. What? Oh, okay. You start to see people every year.
You know what we could do, Russ? Russ, you know
A Bundy Providence card.
Wow.
That's what I was saying.
A Providence. Look at that. Holy smokes. That's fantastic.
That's a heck of a pull.
That is a heck of a pull. That is a heck of a pull. Good stuff.
How about that?
Yeah, Russ. You know would be what we the only way I would get in that line. The only way I would get in that line for a photo. The only way I would get in that line for that photo, Russ, is if we got $1,000 in donations.
We're not doing that.
So.
You are not going to grift the fine folks.
I'm not grifting. It would be donated to Flyers Charities.
I'll download this one.
It would not be.
I'm about to bring up video of yours truly getting dunked in the tank.
Who went in after you?
I don't know the lady's name, and I feel really bad.
Media?
I don't know. I think so. I assume so.
Television?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen the person before.
Well, then, but then don't feel bad if you don't know who it is.
I feel bad because everybody works hard, and you don't want to
downplay
that people do things, and you're trying to be a nice person here. Aunt.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this video from intern Andrew to upload, and then we can.
Technology at its finest.
We're doing what we can.
I know.
Is there anything? Here we go. I got it. We're good. All right, everybody ready?
Yeah, here we go.
Gird. Oop, wrong one.
Can't wait to watch the potato cam in action. I never get to see the potato cam. I'm usually the other side
I remember
of it.
this kid, and I'm going to tell you why I remember this kid. You're gonna see it here in a second. There's a very specific reason. We'll let the fans decide if they can figure out why I had beef with this kid.
Beef?
I had beef with this kid.
Okay.
I had a legitimate problem with this small human child. Hold on. I had it, and then I didn't. So this kid, just to kind of set the stage, he came up, and now I wasn't looking at, what jersey some of these people were wearing, and, I said, oh, who's on your jersey? And then I saw the number, and I was like, oh, that's a questionable decision as a parent. I was like, that's a very questionable decision to let your kid wear that jersey of all jerseys that you could let them wear.
I thought you were talking about letting the kids walk through the.
No, the kids who almost knocked over the light. No, not them. All right, here you go. So this is video. This is obtained by intern Andrew, and here's the small child.
Lefty.
This kid came up 3 or 4 times, and I want you to just kind of notice who's on his jersey. But somebody caught it already.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Carter Hart.
So it's
man.
one thing if a kid in a Travis Konechny jersey dunks me. This kid missed, as you noticed, missed all 3 times. I think that kid came back through.
That one hit. That one hit
times.
though.
So the kid came through 3 times, and finally,
there you go.
Finally, they dunked me. But I don't think it was the Hart kid who dunked me. But who's letting their kid wear a Carter Hart jersey these days?
That's all you got? That's all you got. What are you going to do?
You don't wear it. If that's all you got nothing.
Yeah. That was good, though. Russ, look at that. It was good to see you go down.
That was one of the videos. What?
The hitch mating call.
Now, I will tell you, there was one guy working the dunk tank, and he started telling me that every time a little kid hit the target twice and it didn't fall, that he was going to hit the button. I said, no, they have to earn it. And he's like, no, I'm going to do it. So then he dunked me a few times. So finally, I got annoyed enough, and I took a big scoop of water, and when the kid working the dunk tank bent down to pick up a ball, he got doused by some of the tank water. And then I looked at him, and when he came back up, he was shocked, and I said,
what happened there?
Anyway.
That's still one of my all-time favorites.
What happened there? So.
He's still upset about it. Look at him over there.
Yeah.
Penn State.
You
know what? I got to tell you a great story.
Yeah.
Love stories.
My son's first game this year in college football at Villanova at Penn State.
Is it really?
Yes. I assume we're going to struggle a little bit on the road at Penn State that day in front of 100,000 at Villanova. But you know what? You never know. You never know.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough day.
That'll be a tough one. Yeah, I don't think the freshmen are going to be playing that day. So, but I'll be there.
You're going to go up?
Of course.
You ever been to a game up there?
I have not.
It is an experience.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter's marrying former offensive lineman from Penn State,
yes.
so I've been I've kind of married to the school now by accident. I'll be starting to root for them a little bit more consistently. I just couldn't take your rooting of them.
He's not marrying you, Andrew. Stop putting the hands out like that. Jeez Louise.
It was Andrew's arrogance that spurred me to take Ohio State that day. And just start picking on you.
I don't blame you.
Ohio State national champions.
By the way, Russ, the line has died down over here. I'm wondering if this is the end of the session.
I'll yell at him.
Yeah.
I'll yell to him. Artsy.
Yeah.
I have another video. Would you like another video?
Yeah, sure. While we're waiting for Simmer.
This was a kid who had a real strong arm. This is like one of those kids where, like, when they walk up, you just go, "Yeah, I'm getting dunked." There's no doubt. Here you go. Here's another one of those kids with the very strong arms. Freakishly strong arms the kids had at the 11 o'clock dunk tank. Here's another example of a small human with a very strong arm. And look at this. This is when I was psyching this kid out. I'm clapping. I'm applauding. When she misses, I applaud again. Start, putting the Tootsie Toes through the water. I bribed with ice cream. This did not work. Intern Andrew, see, you could see. Thinking it over, thinking about it.
Yeah, that was so good.
It was a great shot. Now,
that's
I actually
so
want to
good.
see, is this where the contact is? Let's see between the board. Yep, see the board making the contact there? Yep, that's the
it's because you were sitting back.
Injury. That's going to be my injury.
Yeah.
Yep. I would like a spine cake from the Flyers. Thank you. Thank you in advance.
A
spine cake. I don't know which one of my vertebrae it was that was chipped on the dunk tank.
Could you imagine asking the cake, those fancy cakes companies that make those things, can you make a cake of somebody's spine? What's the reaction like of the cake making people?
For the right fee, I'm sure it would be worthwhile.
Yeah, can we make that out of fondant?
Can you put a gradient on the fondant? We want it to look bruised. What are you looking at? What?
Oh, it's so good.
Just looking at all your little things there.
He's got a lot of little drops.
Little drops and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually have the full video of the hitch mating call. It was like a 3-minute video.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We are waiting for our last guest of the day, which is Wayne Simmonds. That'll be a great last guest. I know Simmer's back in town. He lives up in Toronto, does stuff for the team, so he comes down once in a blue moon and checks into town here with Danny and Jonesy.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's really good to have Simmer kind of back in the fold.
Yes, it is, especially on Carnival Day, which is a great day to have him out here for this.
For sure.
So hopefully he's on time, and about 3-4 minutes away from Wayne. The Wayne train joining us.
Yeah, and then we're that's it for us for
done.
today.
Yeah.
After Wayne.
And then we're going to have to go. Is he still over there?
He's still there.
If Torts doesn't come over here, I know he saw Ant. I know he did. So if he doesn't come over here in the spirit of.
How do you know he saw me?
You're a seeable guy, Ant. Oh, Gritty's there. Gritty's right back there. Hey, go take a picture with Gritty.
Yeah, I'd rather take a picture with Torts.
Wow, that was a little bit quick.
I'm not a gritty fan.
Because you don't know what being gritty's all about.
I'm just not a fan.
You ain't got that dog in you, Ant.
I'm not a fan. But that's just me.
Bringing the mood down here on Carnival.
Although I was impressed at Gritty catching that thing in its mouth that the people dropped from the balcony right next to us that one time. That was impressive.
Wasn't it like a bag of M&Ms or something?
It was a bag of something. It was whatever it was. It
was like the third throw or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the third throw, and he caught it in his mouth. Like that was impressive from up on the balcony level.
Yeah.
So I was cool with that. I was good with that.
So can I point out really quick?
Yeah.
That I saw a guy earlier who was there's a Nick Delorier jersey over there.
Yeah.
It's not
There's
him.
two of them actually.
It's not him. There was a guy earlier today who had a custom Nick Delorier jersey, or it was like one of the knockoffs because Delorier was spelled wrong.
No.
Oh,
Yep.
that's not good.
I think we actually caught it on camera.
That's not good.
When
that
I
was,
first sat down.
I forgot who it was. Somebody made a comment earlier that their favorite thing about our feed today is being able to see all the different jerseys that people are wearing behind us.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun.
I think that is like a neat part. Here's a Jaromir Jagr.
Yeah,
jersey. Love
that's
that.
a good one.
There's a Carter Hart jersey. Little kid in a Carter Hart jersey.
Yeah, well,
Donald Brashear. We got Brashear over here. There's a Danny B. Lawton.
Yeah.
That's a correctly spelled Delorier. Yeah, like it actually freaked me out to a point where, like, you know how sometimes you see something and you're 100% convinced that it's wrong, and then you stare at it and you're like, wow, maybe I've been wrong the whole time, and then you look it up. You know what I'm talking about? Like spellings of things.
Yeah.
Like I actually stopped to think about how you spell Delorier, and I was like, that guy's jersey's wrong. That's a heck of a mistake. It's an expensive mistake.
That's true. Those are the jerseys that they bought off of Temu.
Not that there's anything wrong with Temu. Bunny, you ever buy anything on Temu?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay.
What's a Temu?
It's kind of like a Wish.com, like a knockoffy sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
What's the other one? Alibaba.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Somebody said they just saw a Nick Grossman jersey behind us. I must have missed that one. I didn't see that
We
one.
have a Simmer jersey right here. You might want to tell this guy that Simmons is going to be coming on.
He's already got Simmer's autograph on there, though.
Oh, okay. Well.
So
All right.
ain't gonna be able to help him with that one. But
Could get a Bundy autograph. All right, so let's kind of recap what's happened so far today.
Yeah.
So you have Bradshaw on. Bradshaw believes he's going to be able to fix Jamie Drysdale.
Well, I wouldn't say that was exactly what he said.
Well, I
but
wasn't here, so I'm going to assume that he said he's going to fix Jamie Drysdale. So that's good news. You had Lou Nolan on.
Russ fake news. You forgot there was somebody in between. Jim Jackson.
Jim Jackson.
Jim Jackson was on.
Scores!
Yes. Then we
How
had.
was Jim Jackson?
Jim was good.
Was he engaging? Does he have a goatee right now or no?
Yes.
He does.
Rocking the goatee?
Yeah.
Okay.
JJ was engaging. Then you had. Then we had Lou.
You know a fun fact about Lou?
Yeah.
My buddy's wife, her family had a beach house until recently in New Jersey. I won't say the town. And the house behind them is where Lou Nolan apparently has a beach house.
Oh, okay.
Or at least has family with a beach house. A
Yeah.
couple of times I saw him. Now, Lou Nolan and I have never really engaged in conversations. So,
No.
but I saw him. You could hear that. I mean, the voice is pretty identifiable.
Then after Lou, we had Bob McCormick from Toyota. Then we
Who
had.
gifted us each a vehicle, which is very nice of him.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that yet.
You see me trying to drop the hint that they should be sponsoring the podcast?
No, I didn't catch that.
Toyota.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I dropped a hint that he should sponsor the podcast. This was when we were talking about funnel cake.
Mm.
I suggested that maybe they sponsor the podcast.
I don't think he was picking up what you're putting down.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't get it. It was too subtle. I needed to be more direct next time.
Should have asked him for a. Should ask him for a car.
Yeah. And then, by the way, you know how those things work? Bundy, did you ever have a car sponsor?
Yes.
Like you get the car, but then you have to give it back and get a different car, and then you have
Sometimes,
to,
yeah.
Yeah. Like they want you to just drive around in the one that they're trying to push, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So would you do that, Russ?
Yeah.
Constantly change the car?
Sure. If it doesn't cost me anything, sure.
When you have kids, though, and you got you
don't
got
care.
car seats and you got to take stuff in and out.
Fine.
No, yeah, you're good.
I'm surprisingly low maintenance when it comes to that. Yeah. I don't
Okay.
care.
All right.
If there's a car dealership out there that wants to sponsor the show, and you want me to, keep jostling back and forth
Yeah.
between vehicles, as long as it has the space for 4 small humans.
I did that for a very short period of time. And when I say very short period of time, it was like 3 months. But when there was a time when I was one of the first sports writers in Philly to use Twitter. And so I built a quick following. And they reached out to me and said, you're kind of an influencer. This was before influencers were
They
a
called
term.
you an influencer.
Yes, this was before influencers were terms. And they asked if I would drive around in their car, and all I had to do is I have to tweet about it once a week about the car that I'm driving.
Wow.
That's all I had to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, sure. And so they gave me a car for 1 month, and then I changed, and they did a different car the second month, and I changed it a different car the third month, and then they didn't re-up me. So I figured it wasn't working for them.
So you weren't as much of
I
an
wasn't as much of an
influencer.
influencer as they thought.
The influencer economy initially started.
I didn't get paid anything. I
You
just
got
had
a car.
I drove
that you
the
didn't
car.
have to pay for.
Right. I had a car to drive for 3 months. Different car every month, but I had a car to drive for 3 months. Yeah, that was it. That was the extent of it.
Huh.
So,
Do you want to send a text over to one of the people who would have an idea of where our final guest is?
She's right there. Megan is our contact for all this.
Yeah, we'll just we'll hang out. We'll like sit around for a few minutes, see what his thoughts are.
Yeah, Bundy can sign that. Bring it on over.
He is he's a little bit late, but he'll be over.
Yeah.
You have a pen?
No, we have a. Where's that? Marker.
You got one.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's nice that we get to see your backpack in the camera.
Turn around.
Turn around.
To the camera.
Turn around because you got the Snow the Goalie shirt on.
There we go. Hey.
Right. If you're going to be on camera, you got to promote the show.
Shop.snowthegoalie.com.
Here's your pen, bud.
Here you go. Get your marker.
Thanks, man.
Thanks,
bud.
How
about that?
Appreciate you.
Look at that. Listen, you can stand in the middle of the stream all you want as long as you have a Snow the Goalie shirt.
Yeah, that's right. I can stand in the camera.
So today we've seen a Quitter Gautier shirt,
a Mishkov Mania.
A Mishkov Mania shirt.
Yep.
In that brown color that I almost got rid of. Good thing I didn't.
Yeah.
And then that.
Yeah, it was good.
I think I saw a few Snow the Goalie shirts today. You know what?
You had one on.
I did.
In the pool in the dunk tank.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cold.
Yeah.
It was very, very cold.
What was the cold water? Did that make you get out of there yelling, "I was in the pool! I was in the pool"?
I don't get your reference. I'm assuming it's from a movie from
Seinfeld.
From the 70s.
It's from Seinfeld.
Okay. Not a big Seinfeld guy.
Are we waiting on our guest still, right?
Yeah, he's running a little bit late.
He's running a little bit late.
I was never a big Seinfeld guy. I like Curb, though. I like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Well, it's similar comedy.
It's Larry David.
Yeah, similar comedy.
Creator.
Were you? Yes. Thank you, Brian Knowlton and Tom Allen, for understanding my
shrinkage.
My reference. Right. Yes. Thank you for both of you for getting it.
Hey, here's a good question from Allison.
Yeah.
When you had that sponsored car for 3 months before they realized you weren't actually an influencer, did you have to change your insurance every time they changed the car?
That's a good question, but no, the insurance was covered by the dealership because it's a dealership's car.
Yo, why don't we have a car dealership sponsoring the show?
I didn't own it. All I had to have was insurance that covered me, like a driver's insurance. But the insurance on the vehicle was covered by the dealership.
Okay, interesting.
But yes, that's a good question.
Now, it does look like. What time's this over?
Well, the thing's over, I think, at 3 overall.
Okay.
We're done after the Simmons interview.
I'm noticing that we're starting to see a little bit of a thinning out of the crowd. People have been here. Now, in fairness, people were here lined up outside of the building.
They opened the doors early.
10:30 was when they opened the doors.
Yeah, they opened the doors early.
There were people lining up when I got here around 9:30. I was shocked.
Well, Cindy, was it Cindy that said that somebody told her? Oh, Lauren Hart told Cindy, and Lauren's been to a number of these, obviously, that she has never seen lines outside waiting to get in as long as they were today.
Yeah, they were long. I remember coming in too and seeing them, thinking, "Wow, this is going to be a big day," because people were really, really eager and excited to be here today, and that's a great thing. Parking lots were packed with kids playing football, ball hockey, street hockey, whatever it was.
It was cool,
and it was really cool.
It was really cool.
Living here today too.
I guess it kind of speaks to just how cool this whole thing could end up becoming, if and when the team does flip that switch, becomes an actual perennial cup contender. There is such a hungry fan base in this city.
Yes.
For that moment.
Well, Russ, I mean, here's the thing, and I can, I don't know how much you remember because you were young.
I was a wee little lad.
But Bundy remembers what it was like. I mean, there was a time, I kid you not, where all they talked about on talk radio was the Flyers.
Yeah, at one time in the 90s.
In the 90s.
I used to have friends of mine now that are like parents of kids that were the same age, and they were in their 20s when I was playing. And I have people tell me, like, they said when the Flyers were on in the 90s, they said that was can't miss hockey.
It was can't miss hockey. It was great hockey. And it was the city, all that. Because you got to remember, at the time, the Eagles weren't good. The Phillies were good in '93, but then they got bad again.
Yeah.
The Sixers, they were like kind of okay for a little bit, and then they got bad at the end of the '90s. But so the Flyers were the only team in town that was good.
Yeah. They were,
and so that's all people cared about, and it was unbelievable. Like I would go into work as shift at WIP as a producer, and that's all people would want to talk about the Flyers. It was nonstop. Like. So when you say the city is starving for it, they're starving for the Flyers to be like they were, where they were good every year. Yeah, they might not have won a championship, but they were good every year and gave you a chance to win a championship every year. And that mattered. And to now go, we're going to probably look at a 5th straight season without a playoff this year.
Yeah.
right? But the fact that they're starting to come back lets you know that if they get into the playoffs maybe next year, going forward, and then there is that consistency again, like they can get their piece of this city again.
Yeah,
it's,
no doubt.
It's there,
it's there
for
for the taking.
It's there for
attainable,
them.
yeah.
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 For sure. For sure.
It'll be interesting to like and you know, say what you will.
There's a Denver Barkey Flyers jersey
over there. Yeah.
How about that one?
It's funny because when you look at people tend to compare the Flyers and the Sixers just because they play in the same building at the same time of year. You rarely get it where both teams are really good at the same time. Now, there was that Sixers finals run that also coincided with a good time in Flyers hockey.
Yeah.
But other than that, like it hasn't really synced up a lot. When you entered this season, there was the thought that the Sixers could be one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, but there were a lot of questions around Joel Embiid's knee, around Paul George's health history, about whether or not they're going to be able to actually put it all together. And that season has flopped. It has largely been a failure.
Yeah.
The Flyers side of things, there were no expectations. They were about as low as expectations could have gone, even though last year there was that tease of a playoff run. And now you look at where they're at, there are positive signs. Now, how positive you view some of these pieces, that will vary from person to person, but you have one of the potential stars of the future here in Mishkov. Travis Konechny, I think we can all agree, has had one hell of a season. And when you're a guy who just went out and got a huge contract in the offseason, there's always a lot of stress that gets put on you. There's a lot of an increased focus on your play to see if you can live up to that hype. And I would say that for the most part, he's done that this year. Bundy, how have you felt about Konechny's play thus far?
Good. He's been a leader when they've needed him to be. Scored some big goals, And again, he's not the biggest guy in the world, and he has to, he carves out his path pretty well in this league. Member of the Team Canada, the Four Nations Cup. But I think he's had a really good year, and he's going to be an important piece. If the Flyers are going to make some kind of a run, they're probably going to have to go 19-5, probably in the last remaining games for them to make the playoffs. Something crazy like that. But
so you're saying there's a chance?
Saying there's a chance. So you know what? That's really where they're at. I think Konechny's been a huge part of it. He really has.
So you put all that together, and I think it's pretty understandable that I would say that on the whole, Flyers fans right now feel better about their team and the direction of the team and the vision of the team than Sixers fans do about theirs.
I would say that would be a fair assessment. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I mean, if you like what the Flyers have, at least have an idea of what path they're going down. If you're with the Sixers, you're not necessarily 100% sure right now if their star players are even going to be able to play more than 40 games a year again for the rest of his life.
Well, Embiid's talking about how he might, it was intimated, and then he kind of sort of confirmed it the other day, but it sounds like he's going to need another knee surgery to try to get back to the level of play that he was expecting. So if you're a Sixers fan, you went in thinking there was a chance at a title, and now you're kind of staring down the barrel of two of your top three players having significant injury concerns. Flyers side of things, it almost feels like any kind of a positive development you get, like a game last night with Owen Tippett, where you say, those are the flashes that you're looking for. Those are the flashes of a good player who, provided he plays on a good line, could be a player that is worth moving forward with in this league.
Agreed.
I've seen a lot of Tippett jerseys here, too. Tippett really seems to have made a pretty good
Well, you score
impression.
backhanders like he did yesterday. He's going to sell a lot more of those jerseys if he does that on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
That was the goal. That might be the goal of the day yesterday. There was some lopsided scores yesterday. Two teams had put 8 up on somebody. Yeah. Somebody scored 8 on Pittsburgh.
Yesterday was the Rangers.
Yeah.
Right? Rangers.
No, they lost. The Rangers got blown out.
Rangers played Pittsburgh yesterday, no? Or did they play each other? They play each other today. It's right?
The Capitals. Washington beat Pittsburgh.
Capitals
8-3,
Pittsburgh yesterday.
And Buffalo beat the Rangers 8-2.
Yeah.
Woof.
By the way, just so you know, Drysdale already scored against the Capitals.
Really?
Yeah, power play goal within the first minute of the game.
Pretty good player, that Drysdale.
Sure is.
Bundy, can you explain to the people, because I saw in the comments there were some people who didn't fully understand it yesterday. You were saying on Press Row Show yesterday that McDavid is the best player in the world. McKinnon is the best player in the NHL. Yeah. Drysdale might be the best player on the Oilers this season.
Yeah.
Can you explain that? Because some people They were trying to do the mental gymnastics there, and they're having a hard time.
It's really hard, but you got to bear with me.
Okay.
McDavid, if you take the way he plays, the look of how he plays, he's just so gifted. His skating, his skill, his positioning in terms of offensively, what he's able to do. He's just a world-class player. You put him on any team, he's going to make you better. But in the NHL, the way the style plays, where you're not on necessarily the biggest rink, you're still playing in smaller statured ice rinks. McKinnon, the way he plays the game and attacks the middle of the ice with that speed and his creativity and his determination, to me, makes him a better player for this league right now than what McDavid is. Same with Drysdale. You know, I mean, there was talk yesterday saying, again, McDavid's the best player there is, but he might be the second best player on his team. I don't want to cause confusion. It's just saying that those other two guys are great players, and somehow systematically, I think the way the league comes at them, I think they are able to. They're more adept at playing a North American style game than McDavid is.
So it's like McDavid is the best talent.
Yes.
Has the highest ceiling, best talent.
Yes.
McKinnon's game is best suited for the NHL.
Yes.
And then Drysdale's game
is great
and
suited
the form
for the
that
NHL
he's on
too.
this
Right.
year.
Yes, in
is,
form.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I can make sense of it. There we go. Okay.
It is. It's a hard thing to probably go, how can you possibly, what you mean by that? But I'm not the only guy that would believe that. There's a lot of people that say, like real hockey knowledge people that say, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. It's weird. It's weird to hear it and see it, but that's the way it is.
If the NHL were played on the international rink, would it change any of that? Would McDavid be even more successful than he already is? Like,
you know what? I'm not really sure. You know, that's a good question. I mean, it would be. I think the size of the rink, the more. See, McDavid needs that space to operate, where McKinnon needs space, but he doesn't. He's willing to attack with the puck in those open areas, those middle of the ice areas, and that's why I think he's more adept at it. When McDavid needs to feast on speed, that's why an Olympic-sized ice would be a lot better for a guy like McDavid. There's more room for him to maneuver.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more with Bundy. I think everything that he's saying is really accurate. Like I've said it many times that I would take McKinnon over McDavid. And that's not a knock on McDavid. McDavid is sensational. He's a sensational hockey player. But if I was starting a team, I would rather have Nathan McKinnon. And this year, Draisaitl's been better than McDavid as overall. Just this year, this season. That doesn't mean he's a better player
Look
than
who's
McDavid.
coming behind you. Choo-choo. Choo-choo.
Oh, is he
That's
here?
the Wayne train.
Oh, good to
there
see
he
you,
is.
pal.
The Wayne train is in the house.
There we go.
Choo-choo. The man is here.
Have a seat, my friend. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Simmer.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks for
welcome
showing
back.
up, my
welcome
friend.
back.
Oh, of course.
It's been a while since you had one of these, huh?
Yeah.
What's it like to be back and take part in it in a little bit different way as an alumnus now?
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but it's crazy. It's really cool. Obviously, just meeting our fans. We got the best fans in the league, right? So it's anytime you get to interact with the fans, it's great. So obviously, a little bit different. I'm not standing in a booth for 3 hours by myself. A little bit lonely and isolated, but I get to come with you guys and speak a little bit. So it's been cool.
You know what's funny, Simmer? I remember I was a kid. It was 1995, and it was my first carnival.
Yep.
And I don't know, I'm sure I get this from a lot of guys. I was stunned by what I'd seen. And I didn't know what it was. I thought it was.
Yeah.
My memory is, oh my God, what a connection they have to the city of Philadelphia to have fans come out on an off day to support this. And now I think I'm on my 30th carnival or something like that. And it never ceases to amaze me.
You know what? I can say the same. I remember being traded from LA and then coming to this and I'm being like, what's going to happen? What's going to be like? And I remember I stayed for almost an hour afterwards because there were so many fans in line still. And I just I'm like, I have to sign these people's stuff. I'm like, I can't just cut anybody off, right? Like, I just felt like the connection between the fans and us. And it's just and I think that's why the fans love the Flyers so much because a lot of the guys stayed that long after the fact where lines got cut off. Guys were like, no, we'll finish. So. Obviously, the fans are extremely important to this team, and we treat them as such.
And I guess it doesn't surprise you because you know what the fans are like here. But here's a team that hasn't made the playoffs for 4 years.
Yep.
May not make it this year too, right? But who knows? It's close, but they may not. And yet the turnout today is one of the largest, if not the largest, that they've ever had. What does that tell you about? This city is ready. We were talking about this just before while we were waiting for you to come over. This city is ready to explode to love hockey again.
Yeah.
right? You kind of get that sense.
You can feel it. Like just coming into the city from the airport on Friday, you can feel it. Obviously, with the Eagles winning, people want another parade, right? And I think the way the team's being built, the way that the guys are playing, the way that Torts is coaching them up, and Danny and Jonesy doing their thing, I think it's only a matter of time.
Yeah. Simmer, how does you're back with the team? I remember we had you last year, and I remember you said you'd love to come back and work here, and things have come through. Tell us quickly, just on terms of what you're doing for the club and your relationship to it.
So my official title is community ambassador and hockey ops consultant. So this is my third time down. Doing some meet and greets and stuff. Just meeting people and being an ambassador for the team, and then. When I'm back in Toronto, just traveling around, watching some OHL games, and we got a lot of draft picks. We got 3 first-rounders and 3 second-rounders, right? So I've just been out trying to watch the young guys and, contributing that way.
So it's like almost like a scouting thing.
Yeah.
How do you like that? It's an interesting way of watching the game, right? Like you're looking at specific players and not necessarily the whole game, right?
It's weird because, like you said, it's specific players, and I find myself missing a lot of the game because I'm so keyed in on the guys that I'm watching, but it's cool. For me, it's another way to, be involved with hockey. And obviously, I'm sitting, I'm watching Ferrari, and I'm not really focused on the game as a whole, but trying to tell if a player is going to be a good professional, if they're going to be like an AHL player, an NHL player. I'm enjoying it a lot.
And have you had a moment yet when you've been watching a game, you're supposed to be cued in on one player? Yeah. But then your eye goes to somebody totally different.
Yeah.
Like somebody just jumps off.
Oh, yeah.
What's that like, and how do you relay that back? Do you go like, all right, I had an eye on this guy.
Side note.
Yeah, okay.
But a side note, I know I'm not supposed to watch this guy, but I found myself, and I like that kid. I think that kid's a great player, and, I just wrote it down. Just jot it down.
Now, are you interacting with those kids at all, too, or are you just watching from upstairs?
Mostly just watching from upstairs, but I've gone to a few games with John Clare. So, I got a chance to talk to Jet. When we were in Guelph, I want to say at the beginning of the year, after Jet got sent back, I think I watched him in his first game in Brantford, so I went down and I spoke to him a little bit. But for the most part, I'm just watching from up top.
What did you think of him talking to him?
Jet, he's a very humble kid, great head on his shoulders. He's going to be an amazing player for us. I think he's going to be special.
Have you had a chance to see any of the London games?
I haven't seen London play yet.
Okay.
No, I haven't seen London.
I know we have a couple.
Yet.
We have a couple.
Yeah,
kids
I know we got Barkey and Bonky, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna get out to see those guys. But more so for me, I think I've been focusing on the draft and just watching prospective players that we might take in maybe the first few rounds.
Pretty cool.
It is cool stuff, Simmer. It really is.
Yeah. And I didn't realize it was that much scouting that you were doing. It's kind of neat.
What? I haven't done a ton, but it's just like. I get a night off with the kids, whatever. I go out and watch a game.
Yeah.
Like it's just something where, I enjoy watching hockey, right? So this is just another aspect to where, like I said, and the main thing is like when I focus on those guys, it's weird because I don't see the game. I'm not even really paying attention to the game. I'm just paying attention to those guys in particular.
Yeah.
And then like you asked the question before, a lot of times my eye does go, and then you got to look and you got to see if he's drafted already, how old he is, right? So there's a lot of different criteria, that comes with it. So I've just been trying to learn slowly, but I'm enjoying it.
Have you had an opportunity to watch the NHL team much this year?
I try to watch them as much as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your impression?
The boys work hard.
Yeah, it's a hard-working team.
Yeah, it's an extremely hard-working team. I think Torts has done a great job with them. His expectations, if you're not living up to them, you're not going to play, and I think that sets a good foundation for further down the line when the team is more built up because everybody is going to be expected to play the same way. I kind of liken it to how the Boston Bruins go, right? One guy's out, next man up mentality. The next guy comes in and they play just as good as the other guy, and for short stints of time, you would never know, some guys are not in the lineup. So it's, I think that's the way that we're kind of headed. That's from just my perspective, but I don't know. That's just what I've been seeing.
I wanted to get your thoughts on the Four Nations. Just happened.
Just going to ask him that, yeah.
I happen to be the biggest basketball fan, I think, of the three of us on the panel.
Okay.
But I was watching PK Subban the other day, right? And he kind of laid into
the NBA,
the culture difference between the leagues.
Yeah.
And we've had debates on this show about is the Four Nations ultimately good for the league? And has it put the league in good position? You do have a guy like McAvoy is probably going to miss the rest of the year.
Is that what they said? I heard
there's
Kachuk
good
too,
chance he-
possibly.
Yeah, like that,
Possibility.
We're looking at we're
And
looking
Shea
at some
Theodore is
potentially-
going to be out for a long time too.
So when you
Oh
look
my
at
God.
when you look at it from the standpoint of all the eyes that it brought
Yeah.
to the league and the fact that it was the highest rated game. What was it, Ant? The highest rated NHL in 30 years.
Yeah, NHL
30
affiliated
years.
games.
When,
yeah.
when you take a look at
That's
that,
amazing.
but then you do have to
Yeah.
kind of weigh. Imagine being in a locker room like a Boston,
Yeah.
where
Well, now your best
now-
defenseman's gone, right, for the whole year.
How do you look at it? Do you look at it as it was a good thing for the league overall? Is it something where you look at it more from the team level and you go, yo, that sucks that we lost our guy? Like, where would you land?
It's a fine line for me. I think that tournament in and of itself was amazing for our league.
Yes.
It was amazing for our league. If I'm the owner or the GM of the Boston Bruins, I'm pissed. I'm mad. I just lost my best defenseman. We're fighting for a playoff spot, and I'm not going to have him back. But in saying that, I think the eyes that it drew to our game is only going to help us, right? Like, so I was reading something or Gary Bettman announced that we're going to do World Cup,
Yeah.
right? So it's going to be Olympics, World Cup. We're committed to what? To do
Every
like-
2 years.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
2 years,
Yeah.
right? So maybe if you can find a different, I don't know, like they did the World Cup before and they did it at the beginning of the season, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Yes.
So I know guys don't want to start early and it makes the season longer. But if that's the case and guys want to play best on best, I think maybe doing that would be the best option,
I'm
the
with you.
best marriage.
I agree.
For the players and the teams itself. Because having that in the middle of the year, you're going to go play for your country. You're going to play as hard as you can.
96 World Cup was an immense success, and it happened in September.
Yeah.
So if you stay away from Sundays,
Yeah.
which is easy to do,
Yep.
don't play on Sundays. You're
Yeah.
going to get beat up by the NFL. That's the way it
Yeah,
goes.
100%.
So figure it out. But remember, Johnny, when we were talking that night, what I loved was Leclerc.
Yeah.
What made the most sense was he goes, star players are only going to play 2 or 3 exhibition games anyway.
Yeah.
So use the training camp as their training camp.
I'm that's my train of thought. Like
Same here.
I completely agree with that. Like I know, like I probably wouldn't want to play early, but if you can tell me I'm going to play best on best and I'm playing for my country, I'm gonna ramp it up
You're
3
gonna be
weeks
jacked up.
earlier. Yeah, right. I'm gonna get it going a month, 3 weeks earlier because I want to play for my country. But also, you're being paid by our organization to give everything you have, right? So I also wouldn't want to let them down. So I guess the best way to do it is to do it at the beginning of the year, and then if guys do get hurt, like serious injuries, you're gonna miss 2-3 months, right? But you're still back in it for the push, like for what they want. Hopefully the injuries don't happen, but when guys play that hard, like the pride is like watching Team USA play Team Canada was unbelievable.
Oh, it's unreal.
Two great games.
Like that first, like
Both
we need another one, right? Like
yeah.
where's game 3? So like I don't know. I just thought it was amazing. It brought way more eyes to our sport. It made it more popular, and the only thing I didn't like about it was politicized. That's the only thing I didn't really like about it. But other than that, like the boys played so hard, and I was proud, to say I'm an NHL alumni.
And look,
Yeah, me too.
Simmer, just one more thing on this because I think it's a fascinating conversation. And obviously, you can't play 82 games at that intensity level.
Yeah.
It's just not possible. But what got everybody excited about the game was the what was going on was the physicality that was being played, and that's not in the everyday NHL anymore.
No.
Does when you watch that and you see that and you see the positive response that it gets, doesn't the league have to look at that and go, hey, maybe we should start letting some of that back in because that's what fans react to in the positive way?
Yeah.
Not to say that we need 3 fights a night. I'm not saying that, but you know what I'm saying? Like just more regular.
Yeah, I know. I like the way I played the game. I love that.
Right.
To be a player in the NHL, I feel like you have to play like that. And if you have an off night, you're still playing physical. Maybe you're not fighting all the time, but at the same time, you need to be physical. You need to play the game that way. And like PK said, I think that's what separates our sport from basketball, right? And even football, that's why football is separated from basketball. Guys in basketball, they don't really, they play half the time, right?
Yeah.
But they make 1,000% more money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I thought PK had some good points in what he was saying, and I just really hope this helps propel our league and lifts us a little bit higher.
The comparisons you could draw between, and I'm not taking a shot at basketball. They have their league and they're doing their thing or whatever, but there's no comparison between the level.
We all know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There was no comparison.
Simmer, Always a pleasure, my friend.
Great to see you, Wayne.
Great to see you. Thanks
It's
for
an honor.
being here.
It's an honor for having me, guys. Thank you. Thank
absolutely. Can't wait to see you again, and hopefully you'll have some good insights to give them for the draft, because I know that's something that we're all going to be looking forward to. With 7 picks of the first 50, it's going to be interesting.
I got a lot more hockey to watch. I'm getting excited for the end of the year, and going to watch some playoff games in the OHL. So
good stuff.
It's going to be
Great
great.
stuff, Simmer.
Very good.
Wayne Simmonds, always a pleasure, my friend. Good
Thank
to see
guys.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Thanks, Wayne.
Guy.
The best.
Awesome stuff.
Simmer's one of the best guys that you'll
Ever
meet ever around here, and just a very, very genuine human being that was always trying to give us their time.
There's a group of 30, 40 people. They have been standing here since he walked
waiting
over.
for the
Just
Wayne.
waiting for the opportunity to get his. Here, Andrew, pivot the camera really quick.
Yeah.
I just want people to see. So when you talk about Bundy, like the difference between what it's like in Philadelphia versus elsewhere, and about this kind of event versus other places, like look at the amount of people
who just waited for him,
who waited just to come see Wayne. Now,
Patiently waited.
Yeah.
But Simmer was a fan favorite here almost his entire career, his whole entire career.
Yeah.
But what makes him even better is he's a special guy off the ice. He was my favorite guy to interview when I was doing either radio or TV, because he never said no, and he became like my right-hand guy. It was, when I needed somebody, and it was if someone said, "Hey, get that interview," I'd go right to Wayne Simmonds when I could, because I know he'd always give me something good.
You know what the thing about him was, and I don't mean this in a way to diminish his career. He wasn't the point producer that like a Giroux was, or that a Voracek was, right? He wasn't going to get the national headlines. He wasn't going to be the guy that was viewed as, the top 20 player in the league. He is more beloved, I think, by this fan base than a lot of players who have come through here and put up a lot more points. Because the one thing you could never, ever, ever question about Wayne Simmonds was whether or not he left it all on the ice.
No doubt.
Exactly. And that's all.
He might have even shortened his own career by the way that he played.
Probably did.
But he gave this city everything that he had.
Yes, he did. And that's why he's so good.
Guys, we're out of interviews.
I think it's about time to wrap.
I think it's a wrap.
I'm out of energy.
We've been almost 3 hours.
Yep.
Since the Bradshaw interview, almost 3 hours.
4,200 people across all platforms today.
We want to thank you for
on
that
the
too, guys.
show.
I hope we brought some great interviews. I thought today they're all different. They were fun. They were informative. It was really a great day here today.
Hey,
it was.
Obi-Wan just says, "Damn, I missed it." But guess what?
And we'll watch it.
You can go back and watch it because it lives on YouTube.
Yep.
So
and X and Facebook, but we prefer you to watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, watch on YouTube.
Do us a favor too. If you haven't done so, like the video, share the video, and subscribe. And I know that I always say that, but in this case, because this carnival isn't televised, there are a lot of people that I'm sure you're going to run into in your life that are Flyers fans, and they're going to say, "Oh, I wish I could have seen the carnival." Let them know about this. Send it in a group text, send it to whatever, post it to Facebook, whatever. But let people know. We did about, I think, as comprehensive of a job as you could have done, all things considered, other than having intern Andrew and his broken potato cam going around and trying to capture some live lower bowl footage. But I think that we once again did justice to the event. We had a lot of great people on. A lot of hard work goes into this.
Yes.
So tip of the cap
to everybody.
To everybody that had to do anything with this, from Flyers Charities, from the folks who work at Wells Fargo Center, everybody getting this done. And a shout out to the tech team,
yes,
the IT department, who, it got done pretty quick. They had to go and run around the building.
They rerouted
Ethernet stuff to a pillar, and kudos to them.
And we got to thank Megan Flanagan.
Yes, we do.
Megan was great.
Megan, who got us all set up all of our interviews, did everything for us today.
Yep.
She's the best. So. Really?
Great stuff.
Yeah, she's sitting there telling me to stop it. Look at her. She's saying stop. She's listening to our show.
What will we
and
do
she's telling
without
us to stop it.
We wouldn't be able to do this without her.
We have a list of this many people, so we're going to miss people. But a big thank you to everybody who helped us out today. And we will be back later this week with an episode. I don't know if it'll be Tuesday. It might be in the studio. We'll keep people posted. But
that's a pregame. So maybe
Tuesday?
Tuesday's a game. Tuesday night, home game.
All right, then we'll figure it out. We'll put that out on. We'll put it out to the people. We'll figure it out.
Sounds good.
And then for those who are looking ahead to the schedule, the month of March.
You're going to see a lot of us.
If you had some Snow the Goalie withdrawal at any point, if you were lacking, if they had a big hole in your heart where Snow the Goalie is supposed to fit, I got news for you.
I'm going to see you guys more than I see my own family in March.
Yeah, March is going to be a doozy. How many games do we have? It's 7 and 11 days.
7 and 11 days, yeah.
Good God. Yeah. All right, anyway. Big thank you to Ant, who you can find on Twitter at AntSanPhilly. Bundy, who you can find on Twitter at CTarian6. Intern Andrew is on Twitter at Intern Andrew. I'm on Twitter at JoyOnBroad. Thanks for watching, maybe even listening to Snow the Goalie Live from the Flyers Charities Carnival 2024-2025. Until later this week, this has been Snow the Goalie, the only Flyers podcast. We will talk to each and every one of you very, very soon.